I am so excited to announce the Trumponomics Money Secrets to Skyrocket Your Wealth. What the heck even is that? Well, folks, think about Donald Trump. I want you to think about the shrewd negotiation tactics he uses to get what he wants. I want you to think about his real estate mastery. I want you to think about how he is going to affect your business growth, your personal growth, your growth as an employee if you're an
Real estate's freaking easy because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for considering this program on Mastering Your Money. You're here because you want to grow your network.
All right. See what we've got here today, folks. Had to do this. I saw Paul, the swindler, the used car salesman, giving a huge pitch for what I think is a scam. So I had to expose this. I dropped what I was doing. I dropped everything. I dropped it all. I was doing some work, and I had to stop and warn the world about this scam artist. And this is a very important lesson that you're all going to get. And you know, it's funny. You've got all these scam artists on ScamTube, and they're making tons of money defrauding people, misleading people. And then you got me, world-class expert. Nobody on YouTube can show me someone who's in my fucking league. Just someone who's in my league. There's nobody. Okay? And if there is, they sure as fuck aren't going on ScamTube pitching stocks. Because you know, if they're doing that, they're not in my league. They're in the scam league. But it's funny because you've got all these people making all this dirty money. It's dirty money. I would consider it, to some degree, blood money. It's dirty money. Either way you look at it, there's no debate about that. And then you got me trying to save everybody, trying to help everybody. I'm not making a single penny. No one's offering to give me any money. I'm not asking for any money. And think about it for a second. They've got all the subscribers, all the views. They're the hero. And I've got no subscribers, no views, nobody spreads anything, and I'm the evil guy. Isn't that a little bit weird? So if you don't know what's going on, you'd think about that. You'd look at that situation and you would have to conclude that obviously the people have spoken, and therefore I've got to be wrong, and the scammers got to be right. They're legit. I'm not legit, right? Well, I guess if you use that same logic, then you probably think that all these book reviews and hotel reviews and likes on Facebook and even a lot of, in many cases, subscriber counts and view counts are legitimate, when in fact that's all a multi-billion-dollar industry. Fake likes, fake reviews, fake views, fake subs, which I've been exposing for many years. And this is why, I'm going to be pulling what I do. It's not going on ScamTube in the very near future, because I've been doing this goddamn fucking shit for 15 fucking years, and it's gotten me nowhere. And what do I mean? Where's it supposed to take me? Well, it's supposed to take me to a place where I'm actually speaking to a large audience of people. You see? So I'm actually helping a lot of people. The impact. Do you really fucking think I want to waste my goddamn life talking to 10 fucking people? And you 10 fucking people out there are greedy, lazy, self-serving shitbags, as far as I'm concerned. Why? Because you're not doing what it takes to get my message out to help other people. You want to come and listen to me, you want entertainment, or you want to help yourself. Well, guess what? That's not why I'm wasting my fucking time and effort doing this for free. Got it? And as I mentioned in a comment, I've already lived this scenario. It already happened to me 15 years ago. Same thing when I was exposing everything, trying to help people navigate the financial crisis, exposing the financial crisis, predicting the financial crisis, doing many things. Guess what? I'm banned. People don't want to spread the word. They just want to take what I have and to use it for themselves. And that's why I finally started charging memberships on my site. Because you know what? I said, fuck you people. You're not getting my shit for free. Only the people who really value it, who are willing to pay, are going to get it. Because I gave you all a chance to spread the word. Remember, everything was free. Okay? Everything was free. Listen, and I don't want to hear no shit from nobody. I don't deal with blabber. Blah, 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 blah. I deal with goddamn results. Fucking results. You got it? Results. If you don't got results, you're doing nothing. That's all I got to say. I've been here doing this goddamn shit for more than 15 fucking years. And I've seen, don't even give me no apologist bullshit. I don't want to hear fucking nothing. Stop griping. Okay? Don't even fucking, don't come back at me and tell me this and that. Don't do it. Okay? Results are all that matter. Results are all that matter. And if you say that you're doing this and that, if you don't got the results, you're not doing jack shit. Because you do what it fucking takes to get the results. You got it? You got it? If you don't understand that, then you're not going to go so far in life, probably. Okay? Because people that actually achieve great things in life, they understand this. Getting results, being relentless, doing what it takes. But you see, people, they don't want to do that, generally speaking. You see? It's just amazing to me. But anyway, so I've already lived this situation 15 years ago when I was actually providing my research for free, in addition to exposing all the financial charlatans out there, exposing fucking everything. And people who have heard me talk just like this when I expose people know that they actually are able to extract valuable, uniquely valuable, high-level insight just from me talking about the scammers. Right? But you see, of course, the audience on ScamTube is lazy, stupid, and greedy. Lazy, stupid, and greedy. And that's a losing combination. If you are lazy, stupid, and greedy, your life is fucked. You can write that down. Take it to the fucking bank. Okay? I guarantee you that right now. Why do you think you people on ScamTube have shitty lives? Your lives are going nowhere. Think about it. And you're on ScamTube looking for an escape, looking for ways to improve your life, looking for the shortcut, which doesn't fucking exist. And you're going to swindlers, to scammers, to the world's largest platform. I mean, think about this, right? Let me ask you a question. Just from what I'm saying right now, unrehearsed, no script, just natural speaking. There's not many people on ScamTube who can even speak this naturally, even about their scams. Obviously, I know this whole genre of scammers. Nobody in the world has spent as much time, has as much expertise in the world of exposing scammers than myself. Oh, and by the way, why don't you fucking dweebs out there go to CoffeeZilla, email CoffeeZilla, ask him why he's not exposing these fucking scammers. The internet detective. Because he's a useless idiot, as I've been pointing out for a long time. Okay? So, it's just amazing to me. It's totally fucking amazing. And I'll be doing my live streams. I've got live webinar platforms. Only people who are going to support me are going to get it. That's all. That's all there is to it. That's it. Because basically what my efforts in trying to think about this for a second. I'm throwing myself out in the middle of a goddamn busy highway trying to save little children laying down on the fucking road. Selfless effort for years. And my message doesn't get anywhere. So pretty much I'm going to say fuck all of you all, go fuck yourselves. And people who are going to get my insights are going to be, because I never even came on ScamTube ever until 2022. When I saw how bad this shit began to get. I'm sorry, it wasn't 2022. Was it 2022, 2021? I can't remember. But I was exposing all these financial charlatans for many, many years, and it got so bad on YouTube, and now on YouTube it's gone crazy. And probably in 10 years it won't be here, or it'll be much more dead, or it'll be something else that takes over. That's usually how it works. But they'll still be doing this type of shit. It just won't be where it is now, because eventually all these idiots on YouTube thinking they're going to make money listening to these scam artists that don't know jack shit, they'll realize they'll learn their lesson, and there'll be kind of a new game that's hot in town. That's how it works. So, before I begin, remember, and I'll just go ahead and state this for those who don't know who I am. I'm one of the world's leading investment analysts, and that's fact. Nobody can refute that. My track record is stellar. I don't know anyone who even has anywhere near my track record. Not only the breadth of coverage, but the accuracy of coverage for my very accurate 2008 financial crisis forecast. Nobody can come close to that. Anybody want to bet me on that? You can go to anyone in the world. You can use their record. Think about that. That offer's been open. I've closed it a couple of years ago after not receiving any offers, but I'll reopen it. I just don't want to have people kind of burden me with their stupidity and ignorance. In fact, I'm gonna have to actually, if I'm gonna reopen it, I'm gonna actually make you front money. You're gonna have to put it in escrow because you can't waste my fucking time. Okay, put your money where your mouth is, or shut your fucking mouth. Okay. I don't know anybody in the world that can even remotely come close to my financial crisis track record, and I'm saying remotely close. All you got to do is read the 2 chapters below of the books I wrote. That's not everything, but it's a good start. It's a very good start. Nobody in the world wrote a book recommending. In fact, show me anybody else in the fucking world ever who's written a book recommending to short a stock. It doesn't happen. Nobody's got the fucking balls of titanium that's that certain, that confident that the stocks are going to go to fucking zero. You see? That alone is an amazing feat for somebody to do that. And I did that not only just one period of time. I did that over 2 periods of time. In 2 different books that I wrote. In 2 different, completely different situations. You see? Not only did I recommend shorting the subprimes, which is the easy fucking call, the monkey call. I recommended people to short Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which nobody thought was going to go under. And I even mentioned, basically, they're going to file for bankruptcy. Okay? Home builders, banks as well. And then a few years later, I wrote in another book, after showing kind of a summary of a case study, an actual case study through real life, through my real life, my advisory services, I recommended people to short Blockbuster because I knew they were going to go bankrupt. I was certain. And to buy Netflix. Netflix was going to take over the movie video industry. That was in 2008. How did I know Blockbuster had no chance? Because I tried working as a consultant to save Blockbuster, to meet with the management, and they were ignorant. They thought that they knew everything. Pretty easy call for me. You see? So this is who you're dealing with, folks. Someone who's worked on Wall Street, UBS, Bear Stearns. I have advised Fortune 100 corporate treasury departments. I've advised multi-billion-dollar hedge funds, mutual funds, endowment funds, and pension plans. Okay? And I've worked as a merchant banker. So I'm not exactly some, and this was in a very short span, just in a few years. And I got that business on my own, by the way. I wasn't handed that business. Okay? So, I have a background on Wall Street. I don't think there's anybody else on ScamTube that does. The guys that are pitching all the stocks. And, of course, the dummies out there that follow them think that that's not important. You better damn well fucking believe it's important. Okay? Okay? You better damn well fucking believe it's important. Just like it's important for an attorney to not only have gone to law school, I don't consider an attorney a real fucking attorney until they've been practicing for at least 10 years. That's minimum. Basically anything in the world, any career, you have to have been doing it for at least 10 years to even begin to be good at it. Right? You can't just fucking claim to do this and that. You have to have the proper training. Right? So I've been in this business now 3 decades. 3 decades as a financial professional. Wall Street, venture capital. I've dealt with multi-billion-dollar funds. And I've got, I believe, the best track record as an investment analyst in the world. And I don't just, you all have to understand something. When you're talking about an analyst, analysts are sector, industry specific. They cover certain sectors, certain industries. Okay? An investment strategist is at a Wall Street firm, and they have access to a slew of analysts and economists. And they meet with them, and based upon all the meetings of dozens of professionals, they come up with an investment strategy. You understand? I do all of that myself. And I can tell you, I don't know any departments in Wall Street firms. There are obviously people who dabble in this, but there's no Wall Street firms that focus on distressed securities. Okay, that's one of the most difficult, arguably the most difficult thing to do in the world, in the investment world. I'm an expert in investment, distressed securities analysis, and my results are phenomenal. Okay, they are phenomenal. How am I so good in distressed securities analysis? Because I understand fundamental analysis. That's why. Okay, that's the bottom line. I'm not going to get into my track record there, but people who've gotten my research, they know I'm the big swinging fucking dick. Okay, from my calls in predicting early on the bankruptcy of JCPenney, Radio Shack, the list goes on. It's endless. To actually knowing when to buy distressed stocks that turn around and deliver 300, 400, 500, 1,000%, 1,500% returns. That's right. Okay. Market forecasting, I'm the top. I don't know anybody who can forecast the market anywhere close to where I can. So I'm not just a professional, a financial professional, or just a equities analyst. I'm the big swinging dick with Wall Street experience. And I say that not to brag. I say that so you understand who in the fuck you're listening to. It's very important. Because people tend to, on Scam2, want to believe whoever has their little pitch polished the best. Right? Oh, well, I can't see your face. I don't believe you. Let me explain something. Anyone who ever comes out and says he doesn't show his face, as if that's relevant, you have rocks in your head. You're fucking stupid. Go learn some logic. Go learn something of substance. Fucking stupidity. Those are people who are too ignorant, too fucking stupid to look at, to consider the content I've written, the content I've published, the content that comes out of my mouth. You understand? They're just plain fucking stupid. So, and I've been saying this for a long time. Okay? This is why it's important to and people don't do this. Nobody does the most basic thing. And this is why I say the human population has slowly reverted to animals. Our population is almost everyone is an animal now, with instincts, no critical thinking. Probably 98% of the population, certainly 95%, is very, very close to kind of being like an animal. They move on instinct, or there's no rational critical thinking anymore. And this is what the internet has done. And this is, of course, what the people in charge want. People were smart. I don't know if people were smarter. I don't know if they were smart 50 years ago, but compared to today, they sure as hell were. We should be more intelligent today than people 50 years ago. We should be smarter, more intelligent. But in fact, the opposite is true. The opposite is true. So, it's very important to always ask yourself this question. How is this person qualified to be talking about this particular topic, especially when they're reaching a large audience? Especially when they're reaching a large audience. How are they qualified? Now, you can look at Paul's channel, Everything Money, and this is one of the first things you should always do. Take a look at the oldest videos, and you'll see Paul just doing nothing, talking about stupid real estate properties. And all of a sudden, 2020 hits, and he becomes a stock genius, just like Meet Kevin, right? So let's remind everyone, by the way, about Meet Kevin before we go on and talk about Everything Money.
I'm
There
so
you have
excited
it.
to announce the Trumponomics money secrets to skyrocket your wealth. What the heck even is that? Well, folks, think about Donald Trump.
Real estate's freaking easy because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for considering this program on Mastering
And of
Your
course,
Money. You're here
2
because
years
you want to
later,
grow your net worth.
less than
At
2
least
years, he
that's
was
what I'm
making
guessing,
stock
because Who doesn't
courses.
want a larger net worth?
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying...
And let's not forget the golden rule. Con artists always hang together. They form networks, syndicates, because they can swindle their victims more easily. So let's take a look here. And you can just see the clickbait. It looks like Kevin's videos aren't getting as much not being watched as much. Remember, the vast majority of people who are following this swindler, you know where he got them. He got them during COVID with his bogus stimulus checks videos every day. These are the people. Folks, it's why do you think, as I've explained before, the big con artists out there on ScamTube are always interviewing other con artists? Now, some of them prefer to, for the most part, work alone, but there are others who their whole business structure, their whole business model is about bringing other people around. They want they want to tap into the subscriber base of other con artists because they know that those people are naive. So in other words, when Meet Kevin goes to interview Peter Schiff, it's not an interview of Peter Schiff. What it is basically accessing Peter Schiff's sucker list. You all know what a sucker list is, right? That's a term used in the swindling industry. It's a sucker list. It's a list of people who have shown to be fucking naive clowns that you can exploit. So, Kevin would love to interview Peter Schiff, Robert Kiyosaki, so on and so forth. You see. Let's take a look here. I mean, folks, if you're watching this horse shit, you're a fucking loser. You're going to remain a loser in your life. You're going nowhere. Remember, I'm the guy. I'm the big swinging dick, and I'm telling you, this is all bullshit on ScamTube. Let's see what this swindler has here. So here's his bullshit. He's selling membership, house hack. He's pitching, of course, the typical YouTuber. They pitch the trading apps, which are scams. They don't care. They want to throw they want the money. They don't give a fuck about throwing their subscribers, their viewers under the bus. You know that, right? Remember this. All companies that use an affiliate link marketing model are either scams or are very scammy. Do not forget that. I repeat, any company that's using an affiliate marketing model is scammy or a scam. Write that down. In my opinion, that is a fact. Why do you think that they're lining up to work with YouTubers? Think about that. The same reason why Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone and Meet Kevin and Tom Nash and a whole slew of similar parasites, Joe Rogan, so on and so forth, why they're on ScamTube. Because the audience is fucking stupid. If you have a good product, if you are an expert, if you are a professional, you're not catering to a bunch of fucking idiots. But if you don't know jack shit, if you don't know your head from your ass, but you learn to talk the talk, right? You learn internet marketing. Then you come on ScamTube and pretend that you're an expert. Because the people are so stupid they won't know the difference. And you can impress them with rudimentary knowledge. Very low level shit because they don't know shit and they think, I'm learning so much. Just remember, dumbasses, the investment game is competitive. Every time you think about the capital markets, the stock market, or even more so, options, futures contracts, right? Forex. Every time you think about that, you need to think about this. You're talking about a game of football. You got two teams. Okay? A game of football. It's competition. There can only be one winner. It's a zero-sum game. That means if you're not better than the other guys out there, you're going to get smoked. You understand that? That means if you're listening to a bunch of fucking idiots, you're going to get smoked. May not get smoked today, may not get smoked tomorrow, may not get smoked even next year. Over your lifetime, you're fucked. You will never beat the S&P 500. Fact. long term unless you have a competitive advantage. Remember, I'm a Wall Street veteran. I'm telling you, you're not ever going to beat the S&P, or, keep in mind, some people, the appropriate benchmark is the NASDAQ. You're not going to beat a major market index, whatever the benchmark is that your investments are suitable for. You're not going to beat it ever unless you have a competitive advantage or you have access to someone who's got a competitive advantage. Okay? Because the investment game is very competitive. How in the fuck do you actually think you're going to beat? Because remember, every time you make an investment decision, whether you're buying a stock or any other security, or you're selling a security, if you're buying a security, that means there's people on the other side of that trade who are selling it. And vice versa. Over time, you're not going to make the best decisions. You're not going to beat the market index. It's fact. You're not going to. Now, if you think that you are long term, which you're not going to, I can guarantee you, then why don't you just start a fund? Why don't you do that? Okay. So first and foremost, you got to understand these guys are all swindlers. They're all con artists because, number one, they're not qualified at all. But they're pretending that they're experts. They're pretending to know what's going on, and they're making money doing that. They're making money misleading people. Number two, show me, and this is where it becomes important, folks, because if I come out and I give you some spectacular insight on a company, on the market, whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do well. It depends on many things, right? It depends upon, were you able to act on it? Were you busy? This and that. You decided to do this, right? It depends upon your judgment. What you do, when you do, right? But my point is this. My point is that if you have someone who's providing you with high-level insight, over time, that's going to raise the bar. You're going to be elevated into the realm of much more competitive, right? You understand. So therefore, if a person is not truly qualified and is able to provide high-value, unique information that's going to potentially put you in a position that you are very competitive with all the market players, then they're a scammer. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that fucking simple. Now, you can think what you want. I've been in this game for 30 years, and you all know my background. There's not many people in the world who are going to have as diverse of a background as me in terms of analysis and forecasting. I honestly don't know anybody else. I would say probably, well, I wouldn't even say fund managers typically, because the fund managers you all don't even know. What do you think fund managers are doing? They're spending all their time out raising capital. That's what they're doing. They're either raising capital or trying to manipulate the markets. Okay? So I'm telling you guys this. All these people on YouTube pitching investments are scammers. It's just a fact. Okay? It's just a fact. And what they're doing mostly is they're taking advantage of the ignorance of the audience, of the people. So, and this is what we're going to talk about today with Paul, who is pitching this bullshit narrative, and in reality, he's teaching the basics of options. Do you think you're going to have a chance making money with options long term? When you're teaching somebody about it, you're giving them enough information to blow themselves up. Okay? That's what you're doing. So let's take a look here. Paul wants to tell you how to invest during down days. Interesting. Now, I know when this was, when we were tanking, because it was the only time we tanked last year. That's the time that I actually forecast this. I actually predicted this. But you see, Paul doesn't know what's going on. He's getting worried, and he doesn't have a clue. He didn't realize this is just a little dip. Just like he doesn't know what's going on this year, which is why he's starting to pitch more and more of this trading bullshit. Okay? But he's going to tell you how to invest in down days. Remember, this is a guy, let me go ahead and show you all. This is a guy who is a real estate rental boy. That's all he is. His claim to fame is he teaches, or used to teach part-time, I guess for free, school children about investing. You know, kind of like Stockmo used to be head of the investment in high school, his investment class or something. Fucking losers. Look at this. Let's take a look at Paul. How to start investing in real estate. Learn from us. And now understand, of course, this is a guy, Paul, he's constantly throwing out these little, oh well, kind of like he wants to make you think he's some big swinging dick, how he's got 15 companies, right? And I guess he wants to intimidate people. Oh, we have 12 lawyers. Well, Paul, bring your fucking lawyers, bitch. In fact, let me just say this, folks. Paul, and just like everyone else out there, they're reaching a wide audience. You need to contact the Federal Trade Commission on these people. They are scamming people. Paul is scamming people. Okay? It's that simple. He's scamming people. He doesn't have any professional experience, and now he's basically throwing people under the bus, and we're going to talk about that here shortly. But you can see here, he wants to tell you how he's so wealthy and he's so successful, yet he's on YouTube desperate, spending his whole fucking day desperate to make money off YouTube. Now he's selling merchandise. He's selling merch. Think about that. Just look at these, And I have to believe, I know for a fact, actually, he didn't get any of these views. He had this is because of people who have watched his channel, they've go back to the beginning. He had 50 people watching these. He still doesn't even have 1,000 in most of them. Okay? You see this? Real estate. He's a real estate rental boy. Paul makes all these claims. He'll never show you. Remember, this is a guy who's telling you he's got this method, he's got this system. He's a great value investor. He can beat the S&P. Paul, show us your fucking results. Let's go. Show us your fucking results, Paul. I'd love to see his investments. I will guarantee you he's been getting destroyed by the index. He can't even come close to beating it. I'll guarantee it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'll bet money. Hey, Paul, I'll bet you $100,000 you haven't beat the S&P over the past 10 years. $100,000. Let's go. Let's go, Paul. Let's go. You want more? I'll raise the stakes if you want to make it more. Go tell this little fucking twerp. What you got to do, you don't talk to fucking Paul. You talk to his fucking sheeple. You try and save those motherfuckers. Okay? He's like all these guys. It doesn't matter how terrible of an investor that they are, because they keep piling money into the market, doing a dollar cost average on the way down, just like he's been doing with Alibaba and Intel and Walgreens. Right? He's getting all that money, swindling people, pitching a scam, pitching bullshit, deceiving people, conning people.
I think from a standpoint of what to talk about, on this one, on these webinars, I want to talk more high level, not necessarily only about specific stocks. I still want to go through some specific stocks, but as you guys know, I really believe in that adage by Peter Lynch that everyone has the brain power to buy stocks.
No, they don't. No, yeah, to buy stocks, of course, anyone can buy stocks. Peter Lynch didn't say that. He said anyone can basically invest and do well. And of course, Peter Lynch, I played that video actually, and in fact, I actually have the video, I know, in my immediate files, because I showed that video because it shows that Peter Lynch was a fucking scam. He's a scam artist. I mean, what do you think? Peter Lynch was a mutual fund manager, so he's trying to swindle people to get to throw their money in the stock market. Okay, and then they blow up, and then eventually they run to Peter Lynch and put money in his fund. After they realize, you understand how it works. That's the deal. Get the dumb money in the market. More dumb money helps Wall Street. And then, after you blow up, realizing it's not so easy, then you're going to send your money to Peter Lynch. Okay? Think about that for a second. Think about that. Do you really think that anyone, it doesn't take brain power, anyone, if that's the case, then the market is not a zero-sum game. Remember, the market's a zero-sum game. There can only be a certain number of winners for each transaction, because the other people are the losers. You understand? Okay? You got it? So, Paul wants to preach that because he wants to suck in the dumb money. The naive people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's who he's catering to now. Okay? Remember, this is a guy who claims to be a value investor. Right? He wants to throw out the big names. Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, so on and so forth. Value investing, because it sounds good. It sounds legitimate. Folks, you goddamn stupid if you listen to these fucking con artists. If you really think Warren Buffett's so great, buy Berkshire Hathaway. But you're not going to beat the S&P that often. Okay? Because Warren Buffett can't beat the S&P. Hasn't beat the S&P over the past, say, 20 years or so. If you reinvest the dividends of the S&P, which you have to do, because Berkshire Hathaway doesn't pay a dividend. And of course, I've been the only person in the world, I've been saying this now for more than 15 years, Warren Buffett's a value investor. Value funds pay dividends. Value funds pay a dividend. Did you all know that? Do you know why? Because value investments typically, not all of them, but usually pay dividends. So if you're managing a value fund, then many of the securities in that fund are going to pay a dividend. If they're paying a dividend, well, then you have to distribute that dividend as a fund manager. Unless, of course, you opt to reinvest those dividends into the fund, which is fine, but it doesn't make sense to me. If I'm going to invest in a value fund, I mean, the only exception, I guess you could say, is probably, say, a small cap value fund, because a small cap, the companies are not as mature typically, not as large, it can't typically withstand business cycles as much, so the ability to pay a consistent dividend is much more difficult. But a large cap value fund should pay a dividend. This is basic knowledge, which you're probably not going to... I doubt you're going to get this in an investment book, by the way. And you sure as hell aren't going to get this from any of these fucking scammers on YouTube because they don't know this. How do I know this? Did I read it? No. It's something I just realized just being in the industry. It's just common sense, I believe. Okay? So, my point is that if you take... And by the way, Berkshire Hathaway, the benchmark is not even the S&P 500 because Berkshire Hathaway takes on a lot more risk than the S&P. Did you know that? Takes on a lot more risk. Warren Buffett has been struggling for many years. Understand, Berkshire Hathaway made its monster returns many decades ago. Much of those returns were in the private markets, and it was decades ago when there weren't really many professionally managed funds out there. There wasn't hardly any competition. And, I don't know, but his father was in Congress, so we don't know if he got any insider information, by the way. But that was a long time ago. Since 2000, Warren Buffett hasn't really done that well. Even though Warren Buffett has loaded up, as you all know, his fund with technology stocks. Even though it's a value fund. Think about that. Right? Why? Because he's desperate. He's desperate. Okay? So, but you can take a look here for yourself, actually. This is since 2021. This is the difference between Berkshire Hathaway and the S&P with dividends reinvested. So, these are the years in the blue and the performance gap between Berkshire and the S&P. And the red is the deficit years. Okay? Remember, let me remind everybody out there, for people who want to praise, all I know is this. Since I've been around in the game, I haven't seen Berkshire Hathaway, I haven't seen Warren Buffett do anything impressive. I don't know what happened 50 years ago, 60 years ago. I don't know what happened. Nobody knows. Well, what happened back then? Right? All I know is, what have you done for me lately? And I know this for damn sure. Warren Buffett sure as fuck didn't predict the financial crisis, now did he? He lost $30 billion. I'm the guy that predicted it. I'm not no broken clock. I'm the guy that recommended buying the Dow, the market, on the exact bottom. Turned out I didn't know it was going to be the exact bottom. But that's when I did it. March 10th, 2009, for the first time ever. My first buy, my first all-in market buy. So, it's not as if I'm some broken clock predicting doom and gloom every fucking year. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So, the truth of the matter, folks, the truth is, see, the media doesn't want you to know that. The truth is, see, because everyone's saying, well, who do you think's a great investor then? There is nobody. There is nobody. They want you to think there's somebody so they can prop them up on a pedestal, and you're going to buy their books, and you're going to line up for the interviews and make them money through advertisements. Okay? There is no fucking great investors. There's bad investors, but there's no one out there who's got any holy grail. Okay? And, that's why Warren Buffett, he knows, he tells everybody just to buy the S&P 500. Because he knows. Remember, the S&P 500 is not even an appropriate benchmark for Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway has many private investments. That means it has private equity. You understand? Berkshire Hathaway takes far more risk than the S&P 500. So, and he still he's struggling to beat the S&P 500. And Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett is the best of the examples out there, right? He's the best case. So if Warren Buffett is questionably, maybe not, maybe there's no benefit to investing in Berkshire Hathaway risk adjusted versus the S&P, then it's all bullshit from there. Everyone else is even worse, right? Think about that. Think about that. You numbskulls out there think you're going to listen to Paul or any of these other YouTube grifters and you're going to beat the S&P 500? Fuck no, you're not. But people are stupid on YouTube. I mean, they're so stupid they should be... I think many people on ScamTube are so stupid, and of course they don't realize it, they've got Dunning-Kruger, that they should be actually, if they don't have a legal guardian making decisions for themselves, they should probably be locked up. That's how dumb they are. I mean, I'll give you another example. You actually have people out there who are telling their cult that a world stock index is better than the S&P 500. Even after I explained, world-class expert explained, and people listen to some fucking nobody and think that the world stock index is better. I showed people the performance. I explained why. And I even added my expertise to explain that if you wanted to be more heavily weighted with international stocks, the time to do that was before the financial crisis. The game has changed since then. Okay? I'm not going to get into that. But this is how stupid people are. They can't even look at a fucking chart. They just believe anybody that fucking blah, 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 blah. And that's why they're losers, and they're going to remain losers the rest of their fucking lives. Everything they do. They deserve it. I mean, it's one thing if you look into things, you try your best, you really, and you don't get it. Okay, that's fine, But when you're making such obvious fucking mistakes, and you're too stupid to realize when you're getting world-class expertise that I don't even need to use world-class expertise to prove my point on that matter. This is just how stupid the people are on YouTube, which is why it's filled with the scammers. Easy fucking pickings. So you got this guy who, I would say, if you all noticed that most of these people, most of these fake investment gurus, it seems like they can still shop in the little boys department, the little kids department. Did you all notice that? But this guy wants to give you investment advice. He never worked on Wall Street. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And just go through the videos. It's when you take a look, and this is why I say all these guys are the same. Don't put one guy in one basket and say, well, he's not as bad as the other guys. Oh, he's better. They're all, folks, there's no, when it comes to con artists and scammers, there's no ranking, really. Okay? Remember, when you think about a scammer, think of it this way. It's like being killed. You can decide. If someone says, okay, we're gonna kill you. You have no choice. You say, okay, what do you want? Would you take a bullet in the head? You want us to poison you? You want us to suffocate you? You want us to strangle you? Yeah, you'll think, okay, you're probably going to pick something. But is it going to make things better? Are you going to be alive the next day? No. Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, you're not going to be alive. It's the same with the scammers. You may think one scammer is not as bad as another one. But the reality is you're getting scammed. You're not going to do well. And the scary thing is that people think that they are because they're, oh yeah, I'm doing well. Okay, you'll see. You're gonna. The smart people, well, the smart people know better, but the semi-intelligent people will realize that, you know what, he's right. The dumb people are going to learn the hard way. Okay. So, but when it comes to so Paul tells you he's a value investor, right? Value investor. Oh yeah, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. I follow them. I trust Munger. Remember, Paul trusted Charlie Munger on Alibaba. Anybody here when I came out 3 years ago and was smashing Alibaba, warning people about the risks, talking about the collapse in China, and telling people about the risks in Alibaba? I mean, I was warning about Alibaba for several years. You think it just fucking popped up? I've been researching China for 25 fucking years. That's why I predicted accurately the boom in China and the bust in China. And in between all those years, forecasting the ups and the downs in China. Because I'm a world-class big swinging fucking dick. Okay? That's why I also predicted and detailed the toxic U.S. trade policy back in my 2006 book with incredible detail. Nobody in the world did that, even since then. So you're dealing with one of the top guys in the world. May not sound like it, but I'm not pretentious. I'm not here to sell anything. Okay? That's the fact. And in reality, probably 1% of the people that listen to me, maybe 1%, will even begin to delve into my track record and to appreciate, like they'll understand. I'm not even sure 1% will understand my status, like where I am in the world. You have to have a pretty good understanding in the investment world to know, to truly appreciate my accomplishments. Because you see, what rules the minds of most people is what they hear in the media. This is why Paul, the follower, wants to talk about Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, because you see, the media tells you that they're great. So if they're great, you believe it, Paul is riding their coattails, well, Paul must be legitimate, right? Well, sometimes it doesn't work out too well. Say, if you're riding Warren Buffett's coattails when he invested in Diamond Offshore, right? When he bought the airlines during the COVID collapse, right? When he overpaid for Heinz with Kraft, right? I could go on and on and on. On and on and on. And most recently for Paul, when he told everyone that Charlie Munger is a great investor and he believes Charlie Munger. And you all know what happened with that. I was coming out, and of course everybody's saying, well, who are you? Guess what? Who's the big swinging dick, folks? See, I can do that because I know I'm fucking good. You understand? I'm still waiting for somebody out there in the world who can go head to head with me, by the way. Somebody, let's go. Somebody. You see? I doubt there's anybody. There might be, but I doubt it. Remember, from what I do as an analyst, right? That's important, folks. Because I'm here to tell you, based upon what I know, these guys are all scammers. They're full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. But so Paul wants to ride the coattails of has-been investors because he's not smart enough, he's not diligent enough to evaluate Alibaba. Remember, he doesn't do research. He doesn't like to do research. He doesn't do research. He just blabbers. He can't do research. All he can do is pump some numbers in and look at a stock based upon numbers. It doesn't work that way, Paul. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. That's not how you analyze stocks. Discounted cash flow. That's not how you analyze stocks. Anyone out there that thinks so is a fucking idiot. You guys are fucking clueless, man. You're fucking stupid. It's that simple. Think about it for a second. You're listening to the man, and I say the man, not a person or a man, the man who put NVIDIA as his #1 stock for long-term growth in his very first publication. research publication in June of 2009. Number one stock for long-term growth. And I even, you know, at least 2 times on the website told people 2016, I said, look, did you own this stock last year? It's our number one stock, Nvidia. Boom, 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 boom. Also, the man who came out and predicted Blockbuster would go bankrupt, put it in a book, advised to short it and to buy Netflix. Netflix is going to take over. Those are just 2 of many examples, not to mention my financial crisis. So this is who you're listening to. Okay? Obviously world class, obviously one of the top in the world, probably the top. It's hard to say definitively because, you know, I don't, but I don't know anybody who's as good as me. And as good as I am, you know, it doesn't matter because honestly, you know, you're probably better off just buying the S&P 500 because at the end of the day, folks, you've got to have good judgment. You understand? You've got to have good judgment. Most people don't have good judgment because their emotions get involved, right? They make bad decisions. People are not generally suited for investing on their own. Now, I guess the most conservative way would be to buy the S&P and to, if you were with someone who could forecast the market, you could kind of do it that way, just doing with the S&P index, you know, trimming some off the top towards the top of the market, you know, buying towards the bottom over time. That would definitely enhance your returns. That's a more conservative way. So Paul, the value investor, he pretends to be a value investor because he read a couple of books. He knows how to talk the talk, but he can't walk the walk. Value investors don't short stocks. And I mentioned this before. I would never come out on a YouTube video just talking about shorting stocks. There's been a handful of times in my career as an analyst where I recommended shorting stocks, and all those times, just about all those times anyway, I would say, they were based upon a thesis, a fundamental analysis thesis. In other words, it wasn't a trade. It was based upon something I was damn positive about. In fact, 2 of those times, I can't say for sure how many times, probably under 10 times, I would say. It was based upon a drawn out thesis, a fundamental analysis. And 2 of those times, and I'm counting the financial crisis, I'm counting all those stocks as one time because that was a thematic type of situation. But 2 of those times I actually put in a book. Once again, show me a book that's ever been written where someone recommends shorting a stock. You'll never see it. Because shorting a stock, shorting is a short-term situation, right? It's a short-term situation. It's very, very, when people recommend shorting a stock, it's because they think it's going to go down. They don't think it's going to go bankrupt. There's a big difference there. You understand? And of course, you know, none of these guys would ever, I mean, of course these YouTube scammers are not going to confront me on a neutral platform or let me confront them. Because think about it. You've got even these media guys that won't do it. Right? You've got these big mainstream media charlatans, they won't do it. Because once again, folks, it's all about ignoring the people that expose you and just keep pumping your game. Keep pushing your narrative. Boom, 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 boom. Right? The broken clock approach. That's what scammers do. Okay? So let's listen now to Paul. Oh, one more thing, of course. Like Meet Kevin, Paul recruits newbies. Take a look at his videos. I've shown this before. What is dollar cost averaging? What is an IRA? Right? People that don't know anything. Right? How to open a stock account. You understand? Do you think it's suitable? Do you think it can be considered a scam when you have people talking about selling puts and trading options and doing this and this, and when they all are also making videos to lure in people who don't know the first thing about investments? They're obviously targeting. It's a predatory thing. They're predators. They're fucking predators. Okay? So Paul, the value investor, wants to talk about Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger and this and that, and then he gets people to trade stocks. Day trading. He's pitching day trading. And Mo, his partner, comes out and tells people they can quit their job and day trade for a living if they have $250,000. Folks, anyone, write this down. Anyone who promotes trading for a living, trading stocks for a living, is a fraud, is a scammer. It cannot be done unless, in the best of scenarios, you want to make minimum wage. And that means you're staring at a fucking screen all day. Okay? Anyone that's promoting stock, remember, I'm the big swinging dick. Can somebody out there, who wants to say I'm not? Who the fuck are you? What have you done? Let's look at what I've done. Once again, folks, the most important thing you can do in your fucking life is research my track record. Then you'll see I'm the big swinging dick. Not just my track record. Research everything else out there. You see, the media is telling you that they got all these experts. Why do you think I expose all these guys? I expose their track record. So you'll see it's all a bunch of bullshit. Who's got the track record? I do. Who else has got a track record out there that's worth a damn? Show me somebody. Show me somebody. Oh, well, Ray Dalio has got the biggest hedge fund in the... What does that mean? It means nothing. It means zero. You understand? Nothing. So Paul lures people in, newbies, that don't know anything about the stock market, because he tells them, Warren Buffett. He mentions Warren Buffett, value investing. That's the way to invest. It makes sense. You want real companies with earnings, and wow, it sounds good, doesn't it? And the next thing you know, he's telling people to short stocks. He doesn't even know how to short a fucking stock. Paul, you don't know how to short stocks. You're a fucking idiot. You're a complete, reckless fucking idiot. I consider you a fraud. I believe you are a fraud. You are a scam artist. And you should be sued. Folks, why don't you do something useful? Somebody out there, make a website, a portal. Okay, a portal for people to report scammers. Put the names there. People can report their cases, their situation, so people can actually gather and build enough evidence to file class action lawsuits against these people. You understand? Why doesn't somebody do that? That's the only way you're going to stop these YouTube fucking scammers. So let's take a look at the video. This is what really got me here. Before we do that, let's look at the disclaimer. So read all this. So I want you to think about this when we listen to the video. I'm going to read this now. Everything Money is not an investment advisor. Everything Money, including Paul, Mo, and any other person, including but not limited to other staff members, guests, personalities, etc., is not an investment advisor. It is not registered as such with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission or any other state or federal authority under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940 or any other law. The investments and strategies discussed in Everything Money's YouTube, you forgot an apostrophe, you fucking idiot, YouTube videos, and on everythingmoney.com are not and should not be considered investment advice and may not be suitable for you. They do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, needs, or personal circumstances and are not intended to be specific to you. Before acting on any investment or strategy discussed, you should always do your own research and make your own independent decision about whether it's suitable for your particular circumstances. You should also consider seeking advice from your own legal, financial, tax, accounting, or investment advisors. Everything Money does not provide such advice. Opinions and commentary are published only for research and in educational purposes. The commentary and opinions published by Everything Money are just opinions. They are published only for research and educational purposes. I thought they just said that. You should not consider or treat any commentary or opinion as investment advice. Let me just say something, by the way. You know, it's funny, Paul's always, I guess he wants to like brag or like intimidate people with all his attorneys over there. This is not written by an attorney. Obviously, this is like cut and paste, repetitive bullshit. And if it's an attorney, boy, you got fucking rookie attorneys. Okay? This hasn't even been changed since Seth is no longer there. So you can read all this, how they want to make sure and tell you, you know, oh, it's just opinions, it's educational, this is not this and this. But it's kind of like, you know, the person who sells you something, you buy something based upon what they tell you, and then you got to sign a document, right? And you were sold based upon what they told you, but you didn't read the fine print, or you didn't understand the fine print. You see that? Okay, what do we got here? Where are we going? Look, trading, real estate, retirement. Let's take a look at Paul's bio here. So, Paul has a digital show investment education YouTube channel that teaches his audience how to build long-term wealth. How to build, remember folks, what I said about people claiming to, quote, build wealth? That's a scam phrase. Anybody using, we're going to teach you to build wealth. Okay. Do you build wealth shorting stocks? No, that's speculating. That's gambling. You understand that? It's gambling. You're not qualified to teach people or to even recommend shorting stocks. Receive political asylum. Yeah. I mean, what kind of is this a bio or a fucking book? Right? I mean, fucking clown. Anyway, let's take a look. And you can see the clickbait. Remember, this is the guy who 3 years ago was telling everyone how he was buying Alibaba because Charlie Munger liked it and he trusted Charlie Munger, and he was buying it, I think, as high as like $250 or $230, all the way down, and he didn't even know that Alibaba was facing the risk of being delisted. He didn't know anything about what was going on at all. He doesn't know anything about these stocks. Nothing. He doesn't even look into them. He admits it. And of course, you notice all these guys on ScamTube, they're always telling you almost every single video the stocks that they're buying. I'm buying this stocks. I'm buying this stocks. They never tell you when they're selling the stocks, do they? How are they always buying stocks? Right? It's obvious bullshit. So anyway, Let's take a look here at this video. Oh, this is their website here. Their scam website. Oh, let's take a look. Wait, let's see here. Warren Buffett's genius plan. Look at this. So, there you go. Some of you may want to do a little legwork. $7 for 7 days. Go in there and wake some people up. $7 to wake some people up in his little community. Okay? Tell everybody what a fucking fraud he is. You see, the problem is that when you're ignorant, you don't know you're ignorant, and you're easily impressed by a fast-talking hustler, used car salesman like Paul. Paul is absolutely a con artist, and he's absolutely fucking clueless. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Here you go. Everything Money merch. These guys got to sell merchandise. They're so money hungry. Buy our merch, bro. I'm selling merch. Yo. Fucking desperate, money hungry losers. Okay. So let's listen to this video here. Here we go. The genius strategy to accelerate your retirement. This is the heart of the video. Okay. This is the heart of the video. And let me just say something about Paul, by the way, just to give you an idea. And I've talked about this before, just to give you an idea how fucking utterly clueless he is about investing. His approach to investing is like real estate. He thinks stocks, businesses are like rental properties. You understand that, right? He thinks it's all about, and this is his value investing approach. I want to buy $1 for 80 cents. I want to see how much I can get now for what they're expected to earn in the future. Right? The whole discounted cash flow, net present value fucking bullshit. It's not that simple. How are you going to predict what the future cash flows are? Right? How can you do that? Somebody out there tell me how that can be done. Come on. It can't be done. All this discounted cash flow bullshit, which includes his 8 pillars of fucking horse shit, is bogus. It's fairy tale. It's fantasy. It's such a joke that I consider it fraud. It is fraud. It's absolute fraud. Everything Money's 8 pillars horse shit is a fucking fraudulent gimmick. Swindling people. Deceiving them. Oh, this is what it's worth. It's value. That's bullshit. Remember, folks, who the fuck I am. I'm the guy that knows how to pick stocks. You got it? I'm the guy that knows how to forecast the market. You got it? I'm the guy that knows how to forecast big collapses and big bull runs. I'm the big swinging dick. And I'm telling you, this guy is a scam artist. He doesn't know his head from his ass. The only thing he knows how to do is blabber. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go ahead and listen now to this bullshit. When does it start here? Okay. We're going to go through this video. I had to do this when I saw. So think about it. He's giving you, look at the title. Genius Strategy to Accelerate Your Early Retirement Plan. First of all, I take offense at this as a former financial advisor who, at UBS, I was a retirement specialist. Okay? Who gave people advice as a registered advisor. Retirement advice. I take offense at this. Paul, you're a swindler.
free. What's up, everyone? This is Paul. Obviously, I've explained who I am. I'm not one of you guys today. This is a topic that I've talked about ad nauseum in our community. I talk about it with basically everybody know. I've been doing it since essentially June 1st of 2020. Now, you've got to remember, this is really important to understand. Since June 1st of 2020, the market has gone this way. And that's going to matter, and I'm going to explain what we're talking about first of all.
Actually, no, the market hasn't gone straight up. You understand, folks, when you're dealing with someone who this is the type of guy he is. It hasn't gone straight up, Paul. It hasn't gone straight up. In fact, this year, the S&P actually crossed into bear market territory. Right? The S&P was extremely close in 2022. So, yeah, anyway.
Now, covered calls are rated 2 or 3 extra money into
And by the way, folks, let me just mention something right now. I did a lot of options trading when I was in the business, okay, for a good period of time. So I know options trading very well. Do I do options trading today for myself? No. Why? It's not worth it. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But Paul now is just now getting into covered calls. He's never mentioned covered calls until recently, right? He's not done. Paul has turned his scam channel. You understand, it's a bait and switch. Like all these guys, they pull a bait and switch. Oh, I'm a boglehead, and then they want to tell you to invest in Forex and shit like that and trade stocks, right? Paul's done the same thing. He's a value investor, and now he's trading. Day trading, he promotes day trading, shorting stocks, and now he wants to do options trading. So, just with that, go ahead and listen to what he has to say.
That's what they're calling it, the retirement cycle. This is really important because just like value investing, investing in general, it takes discipline. It takes a approach of not being too greedy and trying to hit home runs every single time. But it's a great way to, one, learn how to, as time goes on, in your retirement accounts that can grow tax-free, you can get this income that would normally be taxed at ordinary income levels. It allows it to grow tax-free for a long time. And finally, when you retire, you can actually keep your money in stocks and live off this. Guys, when I say that, I don't say that lightly. Dalton's here today. Dalton here between Mo, my brother, a few other people, and I.
Okay. Show us his transactions. Show us his third-party audited results. I don't care what you say. Okay, don't give me a big number. Oh, 90 million. Show me his results, bitch. You got it? Folks, I've said this before. Anybody who's promoting any type of trading service, right? They're telling, oh, he's trading options. Show us the results. It's cut and dry, right? It's obviously cut and dry. Show us. They won't ever show you. Just like Paul makes false claims about himself, he'll never show you what he's done. Folks, it's quite simple. Look at the results. This kid is another fucking clown, right? Another clown on the Everything Money con artistry team. So you're going to hear, listen to the video. You're going to hear him say this 90 million per month 20 times. Because that's what he's pushing. He's pushing smoke and mirrors. You understand? And you know, if you're trading options, every options contract is worth how many shares, right? That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the dollar equivalency from the options contract. Obviously, it's magnified 100-fold. Based upon the options that you're buying. And if you're buying and selling the contracts back and forth several times, it's not that difficult. If you've got, let's say, if you're putting in a couple of $100,000, a few $100,000 to get to 90 million in transactions, actually, if you're doing a lot of trading. But anyway, that doesn't even matter. I want to see what the results are. I don't care what you say. We want to see what his results are. How has he done? show us each and every transaction, not this month, not this year, for at least 5 years. Preferably as long as he's been doing it. Because I can assure you folks, no one who knows how to trade options or anything else is going to waste their fucking time pitching to YouTube fucking idiots, asking them to pay them money. Number one, they're making much more money on their own. Number two, why the fuck would you want to crowd your trade? Right? You're creating a crowded trade. You're fucking up your own profit. Come on. Okay?
$90 million. This is the money that I used to live off. This is the money my brother used to live off. This is the money that Mo used to live off. Now,
No. Don't lie. The money you used to live off of, the money Mo uses to live off of, is the money you guys are extracting from your YouTube scam, your YouTube channel scam. Selling ads for scammers, selling your 8 pillars fucking horseshit scam, and your other scams. That's the money that you're living off of. You're living off of dirty money. Off of the money from people that you've swindled with your bullshit hot air and your bullshit bogus statements and your bogus claims. That's the money that you're living off of. Shut your fucking mouth, you dirty, money-worshipping parasite.
is it a free lunch? No, it's not. There are risks. I'm going to explain those in detail. But if you've ever wondered how you can make consistent income on your stock without suffering,
You hear that? If you've ever wondered, that pitch right there, you know you're dealing with the con artist, right? Remember, this is a guy, he's a real estate rental boy, and he thinks about stocks in terms of how he's able to get a stock based upon its future cash flows. It's not a rental property, Paul. Rental properties, it's pretty easy to estimate how much money you're going to get in the future. Right? You account for a certain vacancy rate. You account for your expenses, including maintenance, upkeep, taxes, so on and so forth. It's not that difficult. When you're dealing with companies on the stock market, how are you going to estimate those future cash flows? How? How are you going to do that? You understand? He sure as fuck can't do it. And his 8 pillars bullshit can't do it. It's all pie in the sky, smoke and mirrors bullshit. He's selling epiphanies, fake epiphanies, false epiphanies to a bunch of naive fucking idiots. I believe that's fraud. Okay? Now, if he were qualified, if he had a lot of industry experience, and he had something to show for, right, where he shows that he's really knowledgeable, right, his insights are proven, you know, kind of like maybe, I don't know, kind of like maybe the shit in my books that I fucking wrote and the shit comes true and you make a fortune if you read and did it. Something like that. You got it? Boom, motherfucking boom. But, of course, he's not a professional. He's a real estate rental boy. He's a real estate fucking rental boy that doesn't know his head from his ass. And apparently things aren't as good as he claims. He wants to tell you his family's rich and he does this and his, oh yeah. Really? If that's the case, why are you panhandling on YouTube selling a fucking scam? Why are you spending all your fucking days and nights on YouTube making stupid videos and your fucking discourse and shit, dude? Why are you doing that? Why? Because you're a lying swindler. That's why. I mean, tell me this doesn't sound like a Meet Kevin pitch, Meet Kevin product. The Retirement Accelerator. I mean, think about that for a second. Let's take a step back and think about that. The Retirement Accelerator. Tell me that doesn't sound like a scam. Just the term alone. Tell me that doesn't sound like a scam. Of course it does. It sounds like something David Bach would come out with, or Tony Robbins, or Meet Kevin. or Kevin O'Leary. Okay? But you know what? Guess what? To tell you how bad it is, I don't even think Peter Schiff would come out with something that fucking low. Okay? I don't think even he would do that. Okay? And that should say a lot. Right? Kevin O'Leary? Yeah. Meet Kevin? Yeah. Tony Robbins? Yeah. We're talking about the lowest of low here. Okay? Retirement. I mean, if anyone is going to come out with some type of way to show you how to, quote, accelerate your retirement, don't you think it's going to be a big swinging dick like me? But yet I don't do that. I don't pitch horse shit. I don't scam people. I don't mislead people. It's dishonest. It's disgusting.
You're going to feel way more confident using options responsibly to grow your wealth. Now remember, options are a risky play, but the way we're trying to do it, the whole point of the word confident is going to be using these options responsibly to go generate income, and as you go to retirement, to be able to build up your account tax.
So let me go ahead and tell you guys, because you know the pitch that's coming. Basically, he's going to say, well, look, you got your own stocks, you're holding your stocks, why not sell covered calls and generate income? Folks, let me just tell you, once again, I'm a very experienced investor, okay? And I can guarantee you, I've been through more investment transactions, managed much more money than any of these motherfuckers times 100, times 1,000. Remember, I've advised multi-billion-dollar funds. Fact. Write it down. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, that's a bunch of bullshit. And the reason why is, and this is why I don't even deal with options. It's not worth my fucking time. And I've learned over time that those little gains that you get, when you're focusing on this, you adapt a trading mentality. Right? So either you're an investor or you're a trader. And if you're a trader, you're not going to do well long term. So when you're writing these covered calls, the problem becomes is you start to get this trading mentality. Okay? And when you do that, you miss out. Because oftentimes what will happen is your stock gets called away. And you look back and you're like, oh shit. Wow. That's why I don't own Amazon. I owned it when it was $100 and it got called away. You understand? I know this for a fact. I know how it works. Okay? The bottom line is this. If I don't trade options, there's probably a damn good reason why. You should want to know why. And I just told you why. You're unless you're doing this as a professional fund manager, like if I was a professional fund manager, yeah, I'd use options because, we're talking about a serious job, trying to maximize performance for my customers, right? And I would have other people involved, right? Other people to keep me grounded, so on and so forth. But when you're one person teaching this, recommending this to novice investors, it's fucking reckless and it's useless. And I can guarantee you, in the long run, they're not going to do well. In addition to, let me just explain something. And that is, he doesn't have the first fucking clue on how to buy and sell options. I know. I learned. And I know how to put in the right prices to get the right execution. If you're not getting the right execution on your options contracts and you don't know how to do it, that can make all the difference in the world. I'm not going to get into that. Okay? But I just wanted to mention a few things there. So basically, he's going to tell these people, look, you could write calls on your Microsoft stock and you can make $7 a share, right? And that lowers your cost basis, or that's income that you can add to your retirement, right? And they'll tell you, yeah, it could get called away, but he's going to say, yeah, in this webinar, and he's going to have a little seminar thing, May 15th. I tried to look up the site, and apparently there's like a security risk. It won't let me get there. Try and sign up for this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's charging $1,000 for that May 15th scam. Fucking scammer. My point is that he's going to tell you, oh, I'm going to also go over a way where you don't need to risk having your stock called away. So what he's talking about there, and we'll go over this here in a second, but I'm just telling you what he's going to talk about. What he's saying is basically he's going to buy back his call contracts. If you sell the call contracts, you can buy them back, right? You're definitely in a trading mentality there, okay? I can make a good amount of money trading options, but guess what? I've learned over time that you face a bigger risk of getting your stock called away, right? No matter what he says, folks, I'm the professional here. I'm the pro. Don't listen to this guy. I understand how things really work. If you're going to listen to somebody, you should probably listen to somebody who's worked in the industry, who's managed hundreds of different accounts, who's advised multi-billion-dollar managed funds, not some fucking weasel who's pitching his fucking bullshit. I'm giving this insight away for fucking free. Okay? So, you guys, I'm just telling you right now, if you want to sell covered calls in this bullshit, it's going to completely fuck your head up. It's going to fuck your mindset up, and you're going to go from an investor to a trader, and you're going to get stock called away. You say, okay, well, I'll buy my stock back. You're going to be in the trading game, and you're not going to beat the index. Okay? You're not going to beat the S&P index. That's the bottom line, folks. Are you going to beat he can't beat the S&P index. He can't come close to it. You think selling covered calls is going to help you beat the index? No, it's not. You won't beat it. Guaranteed. Write it the fuck down.
There are going to be some caveats in here that I want to understand. But there are ways to, for example, if you have 106 shares of stock to do a covered call, guess what? There's a thing called a format. I'm not going to get into that today. My goal here today is to help you understand.
Yeah, so apparently he's going to get people into like I think that's like a spread or something like that. Some type of bullshit. Folks, do you see where this guy's going? He's just throwing shit out there. Remember, he sucked people in that didn't know anything about investing, making videos on what dollar cost averaging is, what an IRA is. And then he started making videos about how to short stocks, how to day trade. And now he's doing the options trading. He's a total fucking disingenuous bait and switch swindler. Paul, you're a bait and switch swindler. You're a fucking disaster. People, make a website. Somebody make a website. Okay? YouTube grifters, make a website. Allow people to submit things, to report things. Create a community. Create a community where people can unite, tell their story, they can unite, and all have evidence to take these guys to sue them to the FTC. That's what you do. You see, because there's a lot of victims out there. You don't know where they are. They're silent. Make a community, a website community, and promote it. Okay, that's what you do. That's the only way these guys are going to face the fucking consequences.
How you increase your retirement money. Great question. You know I love it. Please drop your comments here where you're from because there are differences which I might talk about that in a future class about this. It's very important.
You see, so Paul now is getting into the courses. He's doing the courses now, you see. They meet Kevin.
With the cover call. And guess what? You get paid that $7 whether or not the person exercises the option. No matter what.
So, folks, simply for the fact that he's teaching this to people who don't know it, think about that. How much money are they going to lose? You understand? He's teaching. He's basically putting a loaded gun into the hands of an adolescent. You understand? And that gun looks like a lollipop. You got it? What's that going to result in? Well, the adolescent's going to stick the fucking gun in their mouth and pull the trigger, thinking it's a lollipop. He's giving enough information, just enough, to allow people to blow themselves up, and they don't realize it. This is what's going on. Because the people don't know, like, oh wow, this is great, I never heard this. It seems so amazing, it's so easy. Remember, folks, that's why it's important to know who the fuck I am, to know my credentials, to know what the fuck I've been doing for the past 3 decades, to look at my track record. I probably know what the fuck I'm talking about when I'm telling you. No fucking way, Jose.
On that date, on May 30th, 2025, no matter where it ends up, you keep that. That is yours. If the stock goes to 500, yeah, you lose out on everything. That's the risk. The stock goes to 500. Look at Microsoft, right? Up 35 bucks. If you had a couple of coins, you probably didn't see it. But we're going to talk about that in future class about this because it's very important to use the risk and understand there are certain strategies that don't be used to make sure we avoid getting stocks surging on us and being taken away. For example, if it goes to 500,
So you notice he's coming out with these little open-ended tricks. We can make sure. No, Dalton is a fucking chump. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's a little kid. He's a clown. Remember, folks, you're listening to a guy. He's trying to suck people in to this horse shit. The same guy who can't even pick a decent stock. Think about it. He picks stocks that are, he stays away from the trash stocks like the penny stocks and the hype stocks. But when he picks a stock like blue chips, they blow up. He can't even detect when a blue chip has had its fucking final run. It's game over. That's why he ran Walgreens all the way down. He's probably still promoting Walgreens. Okay? Same thing with Intel. It's funny because I've been coming out and telling people for years that Intel is in deep trouble. It's a shitty company. In fact, as my subscribers know, I had AMD on my list, on my recommended list when it was $3. Okay? And I told the story about Intel, how I knew I'd never recommended Intel in my life. Ever. Not even back during the .com period. I didn't recommend Intel. Okay, why? Because Intel was always cheating. They'd been cheating for decades, and I knew this. They'd been cheating through AMD. They'd been cheating in the industry. And then finally, the class action lawsuit, there was a lawsuit that AMD won a lawsuit against Intel around, 2014, 15. And I came out and said, this is the turning point for AMD now. AMD is going to take off. Okay, you can read if you want to get an idea about truly how American capitalism operates, you should take a look, read that lawsuit, AMD versus Intel, about 10 years ago or so. You'll read in that lawsuit about Michael Dell. They show emails, Michael Dell's emails, how he's bitching about how Intel chips are fucking shit, yet he's still using them. You see, Intel paid off computer companies to not sell AMD chips. I don't know if you all know that. That was going on for many years. And it's funny because Michael Dell was bitching about how shitty the Intel chips were in emails. This is part of the case, part of the evidence. But Michael Dell held his hand out and took the fucking money. Took the bribes anyway. Okay? So, my point is that I just, I don't know. Intel, this is the guy that still doesn't even, he's probably still buying Intel. Fucking idiot. Same thing with Alibaba. Same thing. I mean, he's still buying Alibaba. He's too stupid to realize that we are at a point now. We are very, 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 very close to a Cold War with China. At any point in time, all Chinese stocks listed on the U.S. markets could be fucking delisted. You all do realize that. We're very close to that. That's very possible. Okay? Very possible. Not to mention the fact that you're getting a fucking smoke and mirrors scam in Alibaba. Okay? But this is who you're dealing with. This is the same guy that's going to tell you how to trade options. That's what he's talking about, basically. He's starting out with covered calls, just to explain. But ultimately, it's going to be about options trading. Okay? The same guy who shorted NVIDIA and got his ass fucking wiped bad. Because he's an idiot. So, and by the way, he doesn't even know what he's doing with options. And neither does this, what is it, Dalton guy. They look at this stupid horse shit, the Greeks. Delta, gamma, stupid bullshit. Folks, I can tell you right now. Okay, if you really know how to trade options, you don't look at that shit. You know why? And this is why it's important to really understand the stock. The options are just, they're derivatives of the stock. They represent the underlying stock, right? They represent the underlying volatility of the stock. They represent potential material events that can happen in the stock. They represent even under or overvaluation in the stock. They represent, you really, to really trade options well, you should really know the stock, okay? That helps a lot. That's a good start. Take a look here, by the way. Take a look. This is interesting. Look who we have here. Our friend, Heresy Financial, the fucking scammer. Tactical cash strategy. See, he's pitching this bullshit. Now, I exposed this fucking scammer a while back. You see this, folks? I mean, you guys got to get the goddamn word out. You guys got to be relentless, okay? Because I'm going. I spent fucking years on this shit, and it's cost me hundreds of millions of dollars in lost fucking money. I'm done. I don't get nothing. I get no reward. I get no thank you from I should have an audience of fucking hundreds of thousands of people at minimum listening to me. People don't even know who the fuck I am. They know who the scammers are. Oh, the whole world knows who all the scammers are. You know why? I told you why. Folks, it's no accident. It's no coincidence. The mechanisms that are involved in determining who is promoted and who is banned, they're on the side of the scammers because they're all out to fuck you. The scammers help those who control these media platforms. They help them fuck you. You got it? By the way, you might have, and I don't watch these guys' video. I mean, like I said, folks, any of these guys, if I watch like any video, any random video, if I watched, and I'm not just talking about these career YouTube con men. I'm talking also about these professional media guys, Peter Schiff, Harry Dent, Jim Rogers, so on and so forth. Every few seconds they say something that's bullshit. I would literally take me hours to go through and critique every single video. That's how much bullshit that they spew. All these people. Okay? But you might recall, and I say this because I happen to know, fortunately because I was watching Paul a little bit when he kept doubling down on his Alibaba. I remember him, and some of you probably remember this. You have the details more than me. You know what he was doing when he kept getting his ass handed to him on Alibaba. It kept collapsing. He said, "Oh, I'm selling puts. I'm selling puts. I hope it goes lower. I'm selling puts. I'm selling puts." He was selling puts all the way down to Alibaba. Okay, first and foremost, selling puts is one of the riskiest things you can do as an investor. Okay? Shorting stocks is the riskiest. I would not come out and recommend on a YouTube platform anyone to short anything, because unless it were something like what I've done in the past. But that's you're talking about it would have to be something on a narrative basis, very, very, very fundamental analysis. But even then, I would probably be hesitant to do it, just because there's so many fucking idiots on YouTube. I don't think I ever would, because there's so many stupid fucking people. It's just not. It's probably not responsible for me, even me, a world-class top analyst, top expert. I wouldn't do it. Okay. I wouldn't recommend, likewise, people to sell puts. It's irresponsible, and it's the second riskiest thing that you can do. Okay. Or I guess maybe a close second. Let's call it third. The riskiest the second riskiest I would say would be to theoretically would be to recommend selling naked calls, right? But anyway, my point is that it's very risky, and of course, me, Kevin, did the same thing, recommending selling puts. Let's see him do it now. He's got his little fucking financial license. He'll get fucking sued, big time. Okay. You all understand selling a naked put. That means you're obligating yourself. You're collecting a premium. For obligating yourself, you're obligated to buy the stock if it hits or goes below a certain price. You're obligated to buy it at a specific price. Okay? It's very risky to do that. Okay? So Paul was doing that with Alibaba all the way down. This guy has lost so much fucking money in the stock market. And once again, the shocking thing is I don't think there's anyone else on ScamTube who has been meddling with, big name companies who's lost more money, who's made worse calls, like the biggest loser calls than this guy. Remember, he's only going to go after kind of blue chip names, right? But he manages to fuck it all up. He manages to recommend buying them when they've come to the end of their fucking life, right? Like the worst possible, Walgreens is, and I mentioned to people, to people that my clients a year ago, I was like, look, they got to get their act together or they might not be around. Well, they're facing potential. They're on the road to fucking insolvency. Fortunately, they're going to be taken private, I think. So, and there was no premium on that based upon the price. Not much of a premium because it's more of a desperation move. Walgreens is in deep trouble. Similar situation with Intel, right? Think about that. This guy's going after blue chip names and fucking it all up. Contrarian indicator. I don't know anybody else on YouTube has done that. They could claim that. That's how bad this guy is. He's totally fucking clueless. And the reason why is because he's not capable of understanding fundamental analysis, number one. Number two, he focuses on his little 8 pillars bullshit. Well, look at the numbers. They look good. Yeah, the numbers do look good. Right? The PE ratio looks good. Why? Because the fucking earnings are going to collapse. Everything is going to collapse. Yeah, of course it looks good. Of course it looks like a good value. Because the numbers don't show what's going to happen over the next couple of years. You dumbass. You understand? That's what this guy does. He doesn't have a fucking rat's ass clue. I've even seen on his channel people that post comments, like, it seems like most of them know a lot more than he does. Like, they point out, pretty obvious stuff that he doesn't even get. So, let's listen to this now.
What's the only 2%? This is a great idea. So let's go to retirement. That's example. 9%.
So take you see what he's doing now. So he's giving you a hypothetical. Okay, let's say we get just a 2% return off of this strategy. And he's putting into a retirement calculator, throwing out these numbers. Here's what you would have after you were, 20 years. You see the predatory tactics here. He's putting out theoretical horse shit and putting this in the mind of his naive, low IQ, greedy, stupid sheeple. What a predatory piece of fucking trash this guy is. Disgusting human being.
Returns, you had $2.7 million in retirement based on 9% return. Let's make it 11%. You have 4.2 million. From 2.7 to 4.2 million. You went from having to save an extra 5,600 a year.
Yeah, well, they're not going to get an extra 2% consistently every year. It's not going to happen, Paul. Paul, you can't even come close to beating the S&P. Paul, you've blown up your portfolio. You've blown it the fuck up. And you keep adding money, dollar cost averaging in it from the proceeds that you have extracted from your everything money swindle. You're a disaster, a con artist, and you're scamming people. Stop it, you dirty rat. As Humphrey Bogart. Now I know what Humphrey Bogart was referring to. You all know Humphrey Bogart, famous for calling people a dirty rat. Now I know who he was talking about. You dirty rat. This is the options king. Look at this twerp. I mean, really? Let's get these motherfuckers up against me. Let's go. All these motherfuckers. Folks, these guys are scammers. YouTube is a disgusting criminal platform that needs to be shut down. And it's not going to be shut down. Maybe somebody can shut it down somehow. I don't know. Someone go to pay off Washington and have them shut it down, right? No, it's not going to happen. Disgusting. Folks, when you call in the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, you file 2 complaints. You complain about the fake investment guru of the day that you want, whether it's Paul Everything Money or Meet Kevin or Tom Nash or whomever. And then you also call in about YouTube. It's a complete fucking scam portal.
Listen, I made a bundle. I mean, that's what I was saying before. In the market from June 1st of 2020 until now, the market's gone nowhere but
That's not true.
we hit it down, blah, blah, blah.
No, blah, 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 you stupid fuck. What are you talking about, blah, blah, blah? And by the way, the guy's so stupid, he doesn't even understand his simpleton discussion about where the market's gone since June of 2020 tells you right there. He doesn't even realize, hey, Paul, if it's gone straight up, why the fuck I want to write covered calls? You see how stupid the guy is? You realize how stupid he is. If he wants to pitch a covered call strategy, he should be saying, well, look, the market's gone up and it's gone down. He's saying it's gone straight up. If it's gone straight up, do you want to be selling covered calls? This is how dumb the guy is. This is how fucking stupid he is. A fucking idiot. Total fucking idiot.
And we still have every, is that only 3 months of gap? Again, very diversified.
You hear that? So you heard that? You hear this false claim? You hear this false claim? Hey, Paul, why don't you sue me so we can go in discovery? We can go through discovery process and I'll get all the fucking information. I'll get your fucking, all the returns in your accounts, everything that you've claimed. Let's do that, Paul. Let's fucking go, bitch, so I can expose your ass. My dick is getting really hard right now. Let's fucking go. I want discovery. I want to go through discovery on your ass. You see, because then what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go to the Federal Trade Commission with all the evidence. You got it? And then we're going to be looking at some big time problems. You hear what he said, folks? Let's listen again. I'm going to play that again. You hear that? He's saying he's only had 3 down months since 2020. You hear that, right? Now, I suppose he's talking about his options game. Even still, that's laughable. Okay, you hear that? I can guarantee you that's not true. So he's making these claims. Why? To lure people in. All this horseshit is to lure people in. Notice, oh, you can make this much money. Oh, 2% additional by the time you retire. Not 2.7 million, 4.2 million. Oh, it's easy. I can show you. Oh, you understand. This guy, like I said, you see the title. You see the title. Everything Money, challenging Meet Kevin for the title of YouTube's biggest con. I think it's appropriate. What do you think? You buy the call options back, the call contracts back, Paul. You see, folks, the fact that he's going to, if you don't know, folks, let me explain something to you right now. Okay, you got 2 ways to do this. You spend a few years learning about options, a few years, right, and then you're ready to start losing money. Or you kind of go about it from the beginning, listening to some fucking idiot like Paul, who's a proven investment disaster and a clueless fucking con man, and you're going to lose a lot of money. Either way, you ain't going to compete. You're not going to outcompete with the pros. It's going to cost you a lot of fucking losses before you even have a chance. Okay? How do I know this? Because I worked in the industry. I worked on Wall Street, and guess the fuck what? I got to practice on other people's fucking money. You got it? You got it? Okay? You understand. And I'm telling you right now, for a guy to sit here and to lure people in to this bullshit when he can't even pick a fucking stock worth a damn, when he can't even truly value a stock or understand a stock, this guy's a total fucking scammer. I'm not going to go through all this. Don't have time. Yeah, well, guess what? First of all, so he's basically saying, I guess, I don't know, 5%, 7.5% return off of options. Yeah, you can do that. Sure. If you know what you're doing. How long is it going to take you to learn that shit? You're not going to learn it from this fucking clown. I can tell you that right now. Okay? These guys are clowns. You're not going to learn shit from them. You're going to lose a lot of money. Let me tell you the easy way, where you don't have to sit there and learn the hard way and lose a lot of money before you learn anything. 7.5%? You want 7.5%? How about buying dividend stocks? How about buying real estate investment trusts? How about buying good high yield bond funds? Okay? And you don't have to fucking even look at the market. You understand? As opposed to watching the market every fucking day, doing all this bullshit and risking sweating your ass off, you know, getting stocks called away that you didn't want called away, so on and so forth. You understand how this guy's pitching? He's pitching the whole, you can make this money. You know, we're going to show you how. It's not difficult. Fucking swindler, man. You hear that? His cash secured puts. Basically, he's saying selling puts. So he's going to teach people how to sell puts. Folks, let me explain once again. If you're going to even delve into options, you better know about the stock. You better understand a lot of things. And in fact, because I heard part of this, I heard kind of around the 50-minute mark, and then for the next 10 minutes or so, that's what I heard. I didn't hear all the rest of this video. What I heard him say is that currently he doesn't even look at technical analysis at all. You're doing options trading, and you better look at the stock's technicals, because that's going to determine a lot. Okay? This guy doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing. He has no fucking idea. And how is he going to determine, by the way, what strike price, what type of puts to sell? Right? I mean, obviously, if you're going to sell puts, the most ideal thing is to not get put to stock and to collect the premium, right? That's the most ideal situation. Well, don't you think it's going to help you a lot if you understand the fundamental analysis of the company and the valuation and many other things? Of course it is. But Paul doesn't understand anything. This is a guy who admittedly doesn't do research. He doesn't. Of course he doesn't. He's got a little simple fucking macro program built by a high schooler probably to plug and chug a few numbers. It's a twist on the net present value formula. Okay? That's all it is. It's horse shit. That's what he does to lure people in. Dumbasses that don't have a first rat's ass clue about investing. Nothing. That's what YouTube is. That's why all the scammers are on YouTube. They don't know anything, but the people are impressed because they know even less. Take a look. RetirementAccelerator.com. You see that? You see that? Let's see if we can find it here. I tried earlier, and so the site is not working or something. Yeah, site can't be reached. You might want to try. No, he didn't. You're just hyping up people. You don't know what you're talking about. Just like you hype up Michael fucking Burry. Fucking clown. Where's this fucking video?
2 weeks later, Dalton again. And again, he does $90 million in assets.
You hear that? Those two events are worth $7,500. Folks, let me just say this. This is kind of the whole package deal. Oh, you think it's a discount. Folks, never forget this. Oftentimes, and when you're dealing with these financial charlatans all the time, you're better off paying Paul to not enroll, to not be subjected to his shit. You're better to pay him money. You can get any kind of discount you want from some fucking swindler, some idiot. You're going to lose a lot of money. You can get a discount on their shit, and you can even get a money-back guarantee. But are they going to give you a money-back guarantee on the losses that you sustained in your portfolio because you listened to their asses? No. You understand. The most important thing is not what kind of fucking discount you're getting from their bullshit products. The most important thing is, are they credible? Should they be selling products? Are you going to lose more money? Right? Are you going to lose your ass? And people find out, unfortunately, the hard way. See, ShamWow, right? You're going to get this and this and this worth this and this. It's all just for $9.97. You understand, folks? None of this has any value at all. In fact, like I said, the real value is to pay him. Pay him to not air any of this stuff so you won't be subjected to it, so you won't lose your money. You're going to lose money listening to this guy. He's a complete fucking idiot and disaster. He's a snake oil salesman, a used car fucking salesman. He doesn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about. Once again, all these YouTube guys are the same. They all have a different pitch. They all have a different MO. But they're all clueless scam artists. Write that down. Now, that's my opinion. And I think it's well justified. Right? It's very well justified. Now, you see that? So basically, they're just teaching people how to blow themselves up. They're doing courses. These are courses. Everything Money's Trading courses now. Everything Money's Trading fucking courses. Folks, anyone who promotes trading as an investment strategy is a scammer. Write that down. Now, you might recall, once again, I said this 1,000,003,000,000 fucking times. CoffeeZilla came out several years ago, and he featured Patrick Boyle. The whole interview was to discuss traders, right? Go ahead and show you that right here. CoffeeZilla. You know Patrick Boyle. Remember Patrick Boyle teamed up with Nomad Capitalist a couple of years ago. See that? Right? Here you go. So, remember this, you can watch this video, and remember, somebody contacted this twerp, I don't know, I think, no scam ads, CoffeeZilla, I've got the email, they contacted him around 2019 or so, a year or two before this video, and told him about me, how I've exposed all these traders and all this shit. And guess what? CoffeeZilla did not supposedly. Oh, he doesn't like who I talk about, who's involved in these things, the certain cabal. Why would you care? That's not what we're talking about, CoffeeZilla. Why would you? You should be sucking my fucking big Greek dick if I want to give you the time of day to give you some fucking content, bitch. I'm the top analyst in the world, you little bitch fuck. But no, you're a grifter, dude, and you want to protect your tribe of money worshipping fucking parasites. You see? So Patrick Boyle, of course, contacts this guy, I'm sure, because he had nobody watching his channel, and he wants to make money. Because Patrick Boyle, of course, is a failed hedge fund manager, right? He's failed. But he goes on YouTube and tells everyone he's a hedge fund manager. Patrick Boyle was not a hedge fund manager when he came on YouTube, much less when he came on this little kid's channel. He had already resigned from his position because apparently the fund blew up. And Patrick Boyle's fund, by the way, was trading commodities. It was a commodities trading fund, a quant fund. Okay? You understand. He was trading futures contracts. So think about it. CoffeeZilla is such an incompetent fucking baboon that he didn't even realize that Patrick Boyle was supposed to expose traders. Like, you can't trade for a living. That's the whole premise. He was going to do that, but Patrick Boyle failed at trading himself. He failed at that, which is probably why Patrick Boyle didn't slam the hammer down like I would have. Watch the fucking video and see for yourself. Patrick Boyle doesn't come out and slam the hammer. It doesn't say anything like I've said. Right? Folks, this is what you're talking about. This is what you're dealing with YouTube. All these people are fucking grifters. Okay? That's fact. You watch it. Okay? And you fucking comment there. Okay? Remember, folks, the real The real fucking heroes out there, the real honest people, the top fucking big swinging dicks who are honest above everything else, who can't be bought off, who are there to expose things and help the people, we're banned. They don't give us an instant. It's not like, oh, okay, after 10 years. No, you're a fraud. You're with the system. You just kind of stepped over the line. They never gave me a fucking chance. Think about it. I've been in this business longer than most of these motherfuckers have been alive. These kids. Think about that. You see? That's how it works, folks. You think it's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence of all these people that are controlling the discourse, as I've talked about, whether it's economics, finance, politics, right? Health and nutrition, right? You think it's an accident? It's done on purpose because they're fucking gatekeepers and frauds. Same thing with the financial media. Why do you think you get fucking idiots and broken clocks, right? And people don't realize because they don't truly understand how bad their track records are until they see my videos and read my articles exposing Peter Schiff, Harry Dent, Jim Rogers, Mark Faber, so on and so forth, Jim Cramer, so on and so forth, Jeffrey Gunlock, John Hussman, Bill Gross, so on and so forth. And then on YouTube, the same thing. Right? Joe Rogan and his cabal of fucking shysters. Why do you think Joe Rogan pitches all this fucking quackery and all these bullshit people? Folks, Joe Rogan's selling fucking supplements. Okay? He's a fucking scammer. That's why he pitches all these conspiracy theories and anti-vaxxer and all this bullshit. Come on. You understand? There's a reason why. Think about it for a second. Think about, some of you, most of you probably don't even know the things that I know. The things that I am well versed in and can easily talk about things without even planning on it. Okay? There's a lot of people who can do that. I'm not saying there's not people that are well versed. There's plenty of people that are well versed. The question is, are you getting the truth? Right? How many people out there who have expertise, and I have expertise in besides the financial industry, okay? I have enough science background to have an expertise in certain areas for sure. I know a lot of things. Why have I been banned? I don't exist, but you've got airheads and scammers and idiots out there because, folks, the whole routine, the whole way it works is to scam the audience, is to control the audience. Okay, to some extent, it's a more sophisticated version of how communist countries work, communist control or similar countries, and that is basically through the propaganda. They control everything to make sure people are only seeing and hearing certain things. It's the same way in the West. It's the same way in America. It's just it looks different. It looks like there's freedom of speech, and in reality, it's not. It's a higher level of control, you see? And that's the same thing with America's democracy. It's not a real democracy, but people think that it is. So they'll keep lining up for the voting booths. So they say, oh gosh, it's much better than communism. In reality, the only difference is that really America is a much more sophisticated way that they do it. They hide things, you see? These other countries, communism or fake democracy like what you have in Southeast Asia. They don't have no fucking democracy in Southeast Asia. That's fucking bullshit. Or some of these other countries, it's not real democracy. People know that. It's easier to see that. Okay? It's the same thing with, why do you think you're getting all, folks, I'm just telling you, this is a fact. Okay? If they've got exposure, they're not on your side. They're siding with the people that control exposure, with the companies that control exposure, and they're working together to fuck you. Meanwhile, you think that they're on your side. That's how it works. That's how the system works. I've been around long enough. I'm smart enough, observant enough to see it. That's the way it works. Sorry to spoil your dreams. There's no Tooth Fairy. There's no Santa Claus. And there's no Peter fucking Pan. There's not even a real Robin Hood. Right? The real Robin Hood, you see how it works, really, right? You've got a trading app that actually steals from the poor and gives to the rich. That tells the story right there. What a fucking scammer. Let me tell you something, bitch boy. It ain't worth nothing. People are better off if they paid you money to not be exposed to your horse shit. But you're a scammer, dude. You know you're a scammer. You hear that? Now he's telling you can make thousands of dollars. Look, he's trying so hard. You hear that? This guy is a scammer. Paul Gabrielle, you're a fucking scammer, dude. You're a fucking scammer. And you know what's funny is let me just say something. Is that this guy's such a dumbass scammer because he claims he's got money. Well, the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position of risk of being sued for scamming people if you got money. It's kind of like Mark Cuban partnering up with Voyager Digital, right? Like, why would you do that, dude? Like, he was facing a $5 billion lawsuit. Only a fucking idiot. You ain't got no money, bitch. You got no money. Your parents pay you to be a fucking landlord. And you're trying to build your own little business on your own. And you're scamming people. Get an honest day's fucking work. Do some honest work. Get an honest job. Do you know what that is? Right? Seems like you're in the business of exploiting people. Right? You're exploiting people. Why don't you do honest work to help people? Does your kind know that? You know, whether it's the guys, you know, the money guys, they're in real estate, landlords, you know, pawn shop, jewelry, right? Money lending. It's parasite. It's parasite business. Why don't you do some fucking honest work? Why don't you get a job at a cafeteria? Why don't you get a job as a cashier? Because you're not skilled at anything. I mean, you know, do one of those jobs. No, you want to take money from people. You want to exploit people. There's no place in this world for these types of parasites that want to take money from people, that don't want to do honest work. It's fucking disgusting, man. So I want you all to hear this for a second. Remember, Paul is the value investor, right? He's preaching value investment. He's got the biggest value investment channel on YouTube and this and that. And you just heard what he said. He trashes value investing. You don't need to wait around. As a value investor, you can get the money now. Did you hear that? This guy's such a fraud. Listen to him. Listen to this carefully. Listen how he actually trashes value investing. Folks, that's what I said about these guys and their character. They'll flip on a fucking dime. It's all about character. You understand? These guys are disingenuous, lying sacks of shit. They'll say and do anything if it means money in their pockets from your pockets. That alone is enough, should be enough to dissuade anybody from this guy. A completely dishonest piece of shit. Not to mention clueless fucking idiot.
If I told you right now, you only $1,000 if you make several thousand a month from it. Why would you not? And it's not like it's value investing. You can like sit there and wait. You can make money tomorrow.
Got that? It's not like it's value investing. You got to sit there and wait. You can make money tomorrow. You hear that? Now you know why this guy, this piece of shit, is challenging Meet Kevin as YouTube's biggest con. You hear that? It's not like value investing where you got to wait. Yeah, well, in your case, if people are following what you're saying, they're going to have to wait a long fucking time. You can make money tomorrow, he says. Tomorrow. Fast money. Sign up. You can make it now. What a piece of fucking shit.
That's the best part. This can start generating money tomorrow. You sit here and do all this using all the tools you need. You have access to people who do this. If you're more of a visual learner, you want to read this live after the live, do this at 11. This one will absolutely help you. Instant access, you can fund me, give you videos on this, all this. Guys, click the link in the chat below. What are the questions we have? What is the worst that can happen if the shares are taken away? I can just buy them back. Yep, you can buy them back. It teaches you on it has secure puts to buy them back.
Okay, so he's going to teach you how to how to sell naked puts. He's going to teach puts. He's going to teach you how to engage in one of the riskiest transactions possible, according to securities laws. And in fact, it's so risky that you will never find a financial advisor who will recommend that. Guaranteed, you will not come across, write this down, you will never come across a financial advisor who recommends to you to sell a naked put. Never. And you know why? Because they don't want to get sued. Yet, this guy's doing it. Not qualified, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. You understand the danger here, folks? Why do you think, and this is what I said before, I used to dissuade people from going to financial advisors several years ago. But now that I see what's going on with all this disinformation and all this bullshit on YouTube, folks, the best thing you can do is line up with a financial advisor. That's the best thing you can do, because they understand risk, and they're going to push away all this bullshit that you're getting. These guys aren't accountable. They're not accountable to nobody. They're just swindling everybody with bad advice, bad information, and they're not accountable. You understand? Best thing you can do is to partner up with a financial advisor. They're not going to recommend. In fact, they're going to try to convince you to not do dangerous things, to not do risky things, which you don't even realize how risky they are until I'm telling you. It's extremely fucking risky. You see? No, actually what you're doing is saying, wait a second, let's look at the fundamentals of Alibaba. Let's look at the fundamentals of China, which is fucking collapsing, which is in an economic, real estate, and potentially soon-to-be banking crisis. Wait a second here. You understand what I'm saying, folks? This is what people, they're listening to a stupid fucking weasel. Remember, he wins. Paul wins. He doesn't lose. You lose. Not just the money going into his pocket from your pocket. You lose in your portfolio listening to a guy that's unqualified, that's clueless, who's out to take your fucking money. You want to make money when it's investment related, when it involves YouTube. Let me tell you right now, there's only one way to make money related to investments involving YouTube. Only one way. That's to create your own fucking channel, becoming a scam artist, fake investment guru. That's it. That's the only way you're going to make money from YouTube with investment related content, is if you become a fucking scammer. You're not going to make any fucking money listening to these guys. I'll guarantee it. And I'm not talking about one fucking day or 1 month or one trade. I'm talking about long term. You show me you're not going to beat the fucking index. You're not going to come close to beating the fucking indexes with these fucking scammers, these idiot scammers. That's fact. So you see, he's focusing on, folks, once again, he's taking advantage of stupid people, of naive people. So he's just pushing, look, you want to buy it, if you want to buy it today at 120, why not get paid money now to agree to buy it at 115? Why not get paid a few dollars, right, per share, right? To agree. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, folks, the problem with that is, number one, people change their mind. Things change. You might think today you want to buy it and it's 120. If you want to buy it at 115, put a fucking open order in, okay? But when you sell a naked put, committing yourself to buy it at 115, guess what? It can collapse and you get put the stock. Because you see, the problem with options is that you're going to leverage yourself. So what's the difference in buying it, putting an open order in? The difference is you can easily cancel it. You're going to be less likely to cancel that to get out of your put contract when you're losing money. You understand? There's many psychological things going on here that Paul is not telling people. Okay? And also, of course, you're leveraging. One reason why people use options is because they can leverage, right? And these are naked puts. So, of course, he doesn't tell you that you have to have the cash in a margin account. You can't just sell a naked put. You got to have the cash balance there, or equivalent in a margin account, to fit the bill. By the way, okay. And by the way, if you're not using cash, FYI, if you're using your margin, you're going to be charged margin interest on that transaction. So let's say you sell a put, say it's 6 months out, right? You're waiting 6 months. You're being charged margin interest. Okay? By the way. I mean, I'm just telling you, folks, the bottom line, I'm one of the top analysts in the world. Not just an analyst. I've done my fair share of trading on Wall Street. I've advised many funds, multi-billion-dollar funds. And I'm telling you, I don't mess with options. It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle, and it's not worth me corrupting my mind to get into a trading mentality, because I'm going to miss out on big-time winners that got called away, for instance, like NVIDIA, okay, or Amazon, or Netflix, by the way. So, but basically he's telling people, look, if you want to buy this stock at 120 today, why not sell a put contract with the strike price at 115, and you'll make a couple of bucks per share, right? You can generate income that way, right? That sounds attractive to the naive person that doesn't understand what really happens, not only with the market, but also the mentality, the psychology of what can happen. Okay? He doesn't tell you that. You see, he's trying to lure people to pitch them this easy money quote trick. Okay? This is what he's pitching, is fucking snake oil. And this is why people listen to this guy are going to blow the fuck up, and or lose out on tremendous gains they would have otherwise had. He's pitching this bullshit to naive people that don't know that it's much more complicated than that, much more difficult than that. And he's doing that because he's a con man. He's scamming people. Okay? You see that? You see?
115 when it's 120. When it falls to 110, they regret it. They were like, well, I have to go now, go buy it at 115. It's very important that you understand the price you want the stock at. You have to let that. I look at this going, this is why the stock analyzer tool is so important.
Oh shit! Do you hear this now? So he's actually coupling his analyzer fucking scam tool into this whole decision making process. You hear that? Which makes it a fucking double fucking scam. You hear that? So he's actually throwing in this bullshit that doesn't work, this complete horseshit, as a way to give you a way to figure out what price you should be looking for to buy it. What a complete fucking scam. Yeah. So how are you going to understand what the stock is worth? He's telling you to plug some numbers in to his bogus stock analyzer, which this is the same stock analyzer that told him that Alibaba was undervalued at $235, so he started buying it. The same stock analyzer that told him that Walgreens was undervalued at $60, so he started buying it. The same stock analyzer that told him that Intel was undervalued at $55, and he started buying it. So on and so forth. You all understand? You all understand what kind of fucking scam we're dealing with here? And this is a disgusting scam. So you hear that, folks? So what you're getting confirmation of is that people don't even understand the most basic workings of options. They don't have a basic understanding of options. So this is who he's pitching this to. You understand? He's pitching this to completely naive people. Do you think they're going to have a chance at knowing what's going on? How are they going to make a trade and I'm going to be on the other side of that trade? How are they going to fucking win against me? How are they going to win against me? Are you kidding me? You understand? Fuck. So there you go. It's not hard. It's not hard.
I assure you, I absolutely assure you that when you're done with the class on May 15th, in fact, I'll do this. It's not part of the thing. Money back guarantee. After May 15th, if you sit there and say, nope, I hated it, it sucked, you remember that. That's how confident I am.
Hold on. So notice this for a second. Yeah, confident you are that you're going to be able to explain it to people and they'll think it's a good deal. Why don't you get my money back guarantee on applying what they've learned from you if they don't make money? In fact, why don't you guarantee their losses? If they lose money listening to your bullshit, right? You understand, folks. This is about his ability to swindle them, to pitch them, to sell them the idea and to show them how they can make money doing this, right? So, of course, it's kind of like Trump University. Trump University had 98% approval rating. You understand. But did they make money? Of course not. They sold the fucking dream. They sold the idea. And so people felt good listening to Trump University after spending 50 grand. You understand? What a fucking piece of shit.
It's less likely that it goes up. So sell a more aggressive covered call. Instead of 15 delta, maybe sell a 26 or 35 delta. Collect more premium if it's on its way down. And if it's on its way up, be less aggressive. You want the shares to be taken over. So So my question to my financial things priest. So Mike says, now do this almost a full-time job and blah, blah.
Yeah, this is great. Did you hear that? So the question is, someone's asking if they can do this while working a full-time job. You hear? Let's hear what he has to say. I mean, Paul started laughing, so let's see what he has to say.
I would say the 90 million I'm doing on a monthly basis, I'm planning to be making a day. Really that much? I'm saying that's what maybe more like to actually execute trades once I have like earnings and stuff figured out. It's probably good. And by the way, part of the reason why he's having spend 90 minutes here, he can't put the covered calls and he's got to call the broker. That's probably a big chunk of the time. And by the way, I don't think it's even like when I was doing it myself, guys. I was at maybe 30 minutes a day. By the way, I highly encourage you to not watch it. The only thing you're watching is, are any of my covered calls, if I go to 1 month covered call a week, then I get half my profit. Let me exit that thing right in. You can absolutely, this is wonderful for people who have full-time jobs.
You hear that? You hear that? It's very, very simple. It's wonderful. You hear the con? Folks, let me just tell you once again, for those who weren't around before, I'm a 3-decade expert, Wall Street insider, one of the top analysts in the world, and not just an equities analyst, research analyst. I've advised many hedge funds. I know how to trade. I know a lot about, and I've traded a lot of options, and I'm just telling you right now. So Paul's telling you he does it 30 minutes a day. The other guy, 90 minutes a day. Okay, anyone that's saying that, they're either lying or there's something they're not telling the truth about. 30 minutes to put in all your orders, okay. You telling me that you're not doing any analysis and research? Folks, I'm just telling you right now, this is complete horseshit. You heard Paul, he said it's very simple and you can do it if you have a full-time job. And he's telling you can make thousands of dollars. This is a fucking scam. This needs to go to the Federal Trade Commission. It's a fucking total. Where's CoffeeZilla? Where are you, coffee boy? You piece of fucking trash, useful idiot.
And by the way, I don't think it's even, like when I was doing it myself, guys, I was at maybe 30 minutes a day. By the way, I highly encourage you to not watch it. The only thing you're watching is, are any of my covered calls, if I go to 1 month call in a week, if I get half my profit, let me exit that and rerun it. You can absolutely, this is wonderful for people who have full-time jobs. It's very, very simple. And by the way, the great news is,
You hear that? It's wonderful for people who have full-time jobs. It's very, very simple. Now, me, as much as I know, as experienced as I am, as high level as I am, I would never say any of this because it's completely untrue. How can he say this? Are you fucking kidding me? Total fucking scam artist. Scam artist to the max.
if you have 30 stocks in your portfolio, just start in 5 or 7 stocks to start. Don't go crazy. Get yourself in. Do the whole picture. This is very, very important. This is a great question. You also have to do a lot. It's not just this, but stocks in general. What if I don't have the shares or anything? You learn it now so that when you do. Well, there's also the poor man's covered calls. But also, you learn it now. That way when you are ready, it makes me not go take unnecessary risks. Yeah. I told Dalton yesterday, I go, don't find somebody who's been doing it for 20 or 30 years and see what we're missing. If we're missing it.
Okay, yeah, you're missing it right here. Right, this is kind of this is to remind you guys of Tom Nash's video when he tells everybody that nobody on the street, nobody from Wall Street looks at PE ratios. They look at price to sales, right? Go and find somebody who's worked on Wall Street and ask them. You hear that? Paul's doing the same thing now. Go and ask someone who's been in this business 20, 30 years and ask them what they're doing wrong. You heard it, folks. Why don't you ask Paul what I have to say? Why don't you ask this motherfucker what I have to say? Okay? You hear that? Let's hear that again. What is that here?
Makes me not go take unnecessary
That's right here. Right here. You're a complete fucking scammer. You're completely closed. You know what the fuck you're talking about. Stop swindling people. You loser. You're missing a lot. You're missing too much for me to teach you. That's how much you're missing. I can't teach you what you're missing. That's how much it is. I can't fill the gap. I can't do it. You're missing too much.
But listen, I talked to Merrill Lynch. I had a phone call with their options experts. Merrill freaking Lynch. How big is Merrill Lynch?
You hear that? So now he's saying he talked to Merrill Lynch experts. Let's hear what he has to say. Oh, okay, that's what they say. Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. You hear that, folks? You hear that? You hear this guy? Paul, why don't you give us the number? Why don't you give me the fucking number? Let me call Merrill Lynch and let's have a talk. Right? Stop making all this fucking open-ended, baseless claims. Let me talk to Merrill. Let's go. You didn't nail nothing. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay? You understand how he has basically now thrown Merrill Lynch into the picture? Somebody contact Merrill Lynch and tell them he's trying to put Merrill Lynch on the hook here. Merrill Lynch now is maybe legally implicated. You can go after Merrill Lynch. You hear that? You understand what's going on? Holy shit. This guy is such a fucking liar, bullshit artist, and fucking scammer. Con man. Yeah, right here. You're missing everything. You clueless motherfucker. No, you didn't. That's a lie. Folks, call your local Merrill Lynch branch and you tell them this is something for the corporate, and you tell them you got a guy coming out pitching scams and he says Merrill Lynch is saying he's doing it right. That's a legal issue. Merrill Lynch will fucking come after this guy. I'm telling you, I know. Okay, because Merrill Lynch is... I can tell you right now, they didn't fucking say that. It's completely out of context. And he's throwing Merrill Lynch under the bus now. Now Merrill Lynch can be fucking sued. You see that? What a fucking scammer this guy is. Lying, scamming piece of shit. Yeah, just get paid. It's just easy. It's simple. Remember, he says it's simple. He says it's simple. You can do it. You get a full-time job. He just gets paid. It's just money. It's just easy money. But make sure and pay him $1,000. Remember, these are guys who claim to you it's easy. They're making all this money doing it, but they're spending all their time selling you their fucking course. Total scam artist, lying, piece of shit, fraudster. Boom, motherfucker, boom. Contact Merrill Lynch. Get that clip, save the video, copy it, contact Merrill Lynch. Oh, wait a second. So, this is a guy who... How did you get to 20%? How did you get to 20%, Paul? Conveniently, when the market is down, you're at 20%, right? You understand, folks? I mean, 20%? I mean, your Alibaba position alone has got to be 10% of your portfolio because you've been buying the fuck out of it for 3 or 4 years now, right? What are you talking about? Did you tell people when you trim down off your Alibaba loss position? Did you know? This guy is so full of shit. You can't believe a word out of this fucking guy's mouth. He's a pathological, compulsive liar. He's a bullshit artist. Why not bullshit if you're a scammer? You're not held accountable, right? It helps the pitch. It helps the scam.
So I look at it going, yeah, I still made that much money last month and having 1/5 of my money in stocks. That's incredible.
So he's claiming he made, I don't know what he made, I think 1% last month, I think is what it is. And he's saying that's incredible. Okay, great. So in other words, he's got 80% of his money is not in the market, right? So that means that 80% of his money is not being deployed. So his overall return, right, depending upon how much he keeps that cash out of the market, is going to be low as fuck. You understand? You see, you don't just look at the capital deployed. If you're looking at returns, you don't look at the amount of capital deployed. I can sit here and make, I can guarantee you, I can make, if I just focus on 1 or 2 or 3 stocks per year, I can make 50% on average every year. If I'm focusing on specific trades, 1, 2, or 3 trades, and just a little money. You understand? There's a big difference between taking a little money and being really selective about the trades you make. The highest probability trades, right? There's a difference between that and deploying all your capital. I can risk 1% or 2% or even 5% of my capital on 2 or 3 positions, really high yield positions, high risk, but I can do this. I know I can. But guess what? I'm not going to do that with a substantial amount of money because it's risky for my portfolio. So what's that mean? It doesn't mean a whole lot, because the rest of my capital was not deployed in those trades. And it wasn't deployed in those trades. Why? Because as confident as I was, it's still risky to do that. You all understand what I'm saying. The bottom line is it's about not about the capital deployed. It's about your overall returns. Because your overall returns are going to reflect the amount of risk that you're willing to take. If he was that fucking confident in his options trading fucking bullshit, then he'd take all his money and do it. But the fact is that he knows the money he's going to make off of options is selling his fucking options courses. That's where he's making the money. Okay? That's where he's making the money. Remember, this guy is a real estate rental boy who doesn't even know how to pick decent blue chip stocks. He's completely fucking clueless. 100%.
That's what I love about it. It's a great way to make this money. What are the questions you have? Is he up? Or relax? Yes. Right, Tim? All right, guys. So here's the bundle.
Okay, here's the pitch. Here's the hard fucking sell.
That's the value of both Dalton and I combined.
Yeah. That's not a value, that's a disaster. You're both fucking pinheads.
Incredible value to be able to break it down. Right now we have 300 people in the live stream. We have people coming in and out. This is a dedicated call to only the people who sign up. May 29th, a follow-up call with Dalton. He will go through what you've done between May 15th and May 29th.
So Paul's looking to make 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, maybe $1 million off of this fucking, with this bullshit. You understand that, right? With this little 1-hour event. $1,000, right? All he needs is 1,000. He's got $1 million. You should be calling the Federal Trade Commission on this fucking scam right now. Federal Trade Commission. Call Merrill Lynch. Remember, he said Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch. He talked to their options, the head of their options department, which I'm pretty fucking sure is not true. And I know it's for a fact it's not true. That's fact. I'll guarantee it. They didn't say, "Oh yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, what you're doing, you're nailing it." He's basically saying Merrill Lynch is endorsing what he's doing. That's basically what he's saying. If Merrill Lynch finds out about this, about his pitch and what he said, you better believe he's going to pull the video down, because Merrill Lynch is going to fucking threaten to sue him. Because Merrill Lynch, if they don't do that, they're going to get sued. I'm telling you, I know how it works. You don't believe me? Go contact fucking Merrill Lynch corporate. Go ahead, somebody do it. Come on, go do it. Do it right fucking now, bitches. Don't be lazy and useless all your fucking lives.
Specific action items to take on May
Yeah, the community of fucking idiots, of sheeple fucking clowns.
For 1 year for free. If you're already paying for it, you get a 1-year trial. You're going to get all of that. You're going to get this live stream forever sent to you. You're going to get our written down PDF guide on this. How
You don't seem to understand. It doesn't matter if Merrill Lynch has an options department or not. What matters is he's put Merrill Lynch into the fucking mix. He has put their name into this. And I can guarantee you right now, by doing that, Merrill Lynch is going to fucking come down hard on him. They're going to have him delete that. Guaranteed. Because I know the fucking industry. Because Merrill Lynch can now be potentially fucking sued. Okay? Because this guy's obviously a clueless fucking scammer. Contact Merrill Lynch corporate and you tell them. You're going to get an operator, say there's an emergency. There's somebody that is using Merrill Lynch's name to pitch a scam. They're implicating Merrill Lynch. This could be a legal issue for Merrill Lynch. You need to speak to somebody in compliance. Head compliance. That's what you do. Head compliance.
you sit there and sell covered calls and make money. That's going on right now. This is the push, $9.97 guys. And give a money back guarantee if you sign up today before midnight Eastern time. Okay, you sign up today, we'll get exactly the time you signed in. You'll get a money back guarantee on May 15th. If you be on the call May 15th from beginning to end, there's no, I don't want to hear like, oh, I missed the call. Nope, I got it on it. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, I have a giveaway coming. That's going to happen, and one person will get lifetime access to our software. Should we do that now? Oh, not yet. Not yet? Okay. So what are the questions you got, Dalton? It has to be the other guy talking. It says 10. What was that? It has to be the other guy. On for the Tate's Candle, what you guys are going between May 15th and May 29th. You get the 1 year, how much will editing software for free. You get PDF, you get this video again, getting to this, you can watch it over and over from my screen. There's no gimmicks, no trolls, nothing like that. I'm not Grant Cardone, guys. I'm not Grant Cardone.
You hear that? So now he's saying he's not Grant Cardone. I tell you what. I don't think much of Grant Cardone, but I tell you what. Grant Cardone does have a real business. Yeah, he sells bullshit, scammy courses and a lot of horse shit. But at the end of the day, does he have a real fund? Yeah, he's got funds. Are they shit? Probably they are. I'm sure the returns are shit. But nonetheless, he's got a legitimate business. Now, yeah, he sells his courses as well. Okay? So, I don't think you're in a position to be saying you're not Grant Cardone. Because actually, I think you're a mini Grant Cardone. You know, kind of like Meet Kevin, right? It's funny how all these guys who want to criticize Grant Cardone, they become Grant Cardone, like Meet Kevin did, right? No, Paul, you're a less successful version of Grant Cardone, a much less successful version, okay? You're a much, much, much less successful version of Grant Cardone. So don't come out and say you're not Grant Cardone, as if Grant Cardone is a dishonest scammer and you're not. You see how he's trying to distance himself? Like, how are you not Grant Cardone? Are you fucking kidding me? Shut your fucking mouth. You swindling piece of fucking trash. Swindling piece of trash. So move along from the sales pitch here. Finish up on this thing.
Instruction on what to do for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a good question. You get all this stuff valued at almost $10,000.
Here we go again.
For $9.97, you sign up today, money back guarantee as long as you show up and watch the whole thing from beginning to end. And we covered a lot today. We covered a lot today. You got value on this? I see you do. Let me know, like I said, you can pick up big time, 100%. That's great. Move less than there. That's really great. Not quite a totally great box to me. Eric, I just think it's probably from the first time you put this. Trust me that I said. Even if the appeal of making 3 to 5% extra intro sounds good. I encourage you to sign up today. That way you get that money back guaranteed. So that's thank you, JS.
You see that? So he's pitching a 3 to 5% return added on top of your investments. He doesn't talk about, Paul, how about telling us how much potentially you can lose by getting your stock called away and not getting back in, so on and so forth. Not to mention many other things, folks. There's, margin costs, so on and so forth. I'm not going to. This guy's a complete fucking scam artist, piece of trash. Somebody contact Merrill Lynch, please.
Nice work. So if you actually want to do this, not just learn about it, this whole entire bundle, retirement accelerator bundle, best way to start. I guarantee that you'll walk away with a direction of what you're going to take. And the vast majority is going to be like, okay, this is something good. This is
Okay, so he guarantees if you send him your money and roll in his shit, you're gonna walk away with knowing the direction you're gonna take. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, okay, so you've convinced them to blow up their portfolio trying to trade options, not knowing what they're doing and trading against fucking pros. So what does that mean? Are you stupid fucking? This guy's such a fucking scammer.
this is something I'm implementing. This is not something. One of the things that bothers me is when I see like Grant Cardone do like disingenuous like.
There he goes. Grant Cardone again. Dude, really? Are you fucking serious? Do you have the nerve? Again with Grant Cardone? He's better than Grant Cardone. He's disingenuous. He's saying Grant Cardone is disingenuous, but he's an honest guy. Are you fucking kidding me?
The vast majority is going to be like, okay, this is something good. This is something I'm implementing. This, one of the things that bothers me is when I see like Grant Cardone do like disingenuous like teaching. Guys, I always tell people, I'm here to teach what I know and how I think about things. That's going to apply to you in certain ways and not apply to you. It's also going to sit there and say to you like, hey, I thought about this, and the first person who taught me about this only taught me past the third point. They didn't teach me.
You hear that? The bottom line, he's saying Grant Cardone is disingenuous and he's not. What a piece of shit.
I love buying investments. I love owning investments. I don't have to sell them anymore. I can just live off these covered calls and best secret.
So you hear that? So he's pitching the easy money again, right? You're going to make all this income. It's easy. It's really simple. You can do it with a full-time job. You hear all this stuff? And now he's saying, again, let's listen again.
I make is we buy small companies so we can't sell covered calls at best secret place. So it's a way of bridging that gap. But the best part for me is I love buying investments. I love owning investments. I don't have to sell them anymore. I can just live off these covered calls and best secret income and not have to sell the thing that I love. And for those of you out there who may want to leave money to kids someday, this 3 or 4% extra a year, especially in retirement, can allow you to leave money to other people or other things you want to leave money to, like charity, things like that.
You hear that? So now he's putting that whole pitch in there. Think about your kids. This is your legacy. You can make money. You see that? Typical scam artist pitch. You understand? You all know this, right? This is obvious. Can you believe this shit? You see, he's basically throwing everything at the wall and seeing what will stick, right? First, he's telling you, yeah, it's easy, it's simple. You work full time, you can do it, no problem. Now he's telling you, it's great, easy money, don't have to sell my stocks, income every month. Then he told you before, look, you can make a lot more in retirement. A lot more for your retirement. Now he's saying, you can make money to leave for your legacy for kids or charity. This is an obvious fucking ShamWow infomercial scam. And I probably will make a ShamWow video using the highlights of this, like I did with me, Kevin. What a fucking piece of shit.
Just, and by the way, I wanted you to realize that this is the transition of this channel. This channel started out as a teaching, and over time, we're like, let's teach more about things that we use ourselves. This is what's really, really important.
Wait a second. What things you use yourself? What you got your stock analyzer, your 8 pillars fucking bullshit. That's what you use. So now he's saying basically they're doing all trading because the stock, the 8 pillars bullshit doesn't work, as seen by the fucking results, blowing up everybody. So now he's trading. Now he's going for the gambling, and the stupid people out there who think they can make money trading. And you can't tell them not. They're convinced. You know, even though you have people that are so stupid, it's like, dude, you learn who the fuck I am, and then you come back and talk to me. Okay? You don't come and tell me in my expertise, my field, that I'm wrong. You're a goddamn fucking idiot. Sit down, shut your fucking mouth, and take notes, bitch. Okay? You're just showing the world how fucking stupid you are. You see? But this is what happens. Everybody thinks they know because they're goddamn stupid. Like I said, the human population is very close to becoming basically like animals now, where they work on instinct. There's no critical thinking anymore because of the internet and all the bullshit out there.
So guys, last time, go sign up. $9.97 gets you almost $10,000 in value. May 15th an hour with Dalton and I together. May 29th a full.
There's no value. It's not worth a fucking penny. It's not worth a penny. In fact, it's detrimental because they're going to blow up. You're going to show them how to fucking lose money. You are a con man. You're not even qualified to talk about this shit. Hell, you can't even pick a stock to save your life.
4 hours, Dalton, to recap what we learned on 15th, plus all the work we did. The full 1 year, really, guys, the 1 year of getting myself for a low is $497.
What a scam. So he's charging people $500 for his little fucking his stock analyzer per year. Is a complete scam is what it is. Total scam. Absolute 100% fucking scam. That's what it is. Write that the fuck down. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at the results, watch the videos, and see. You hear that? You hear that? You heard that one now, right? You hear that? Tell Merrill Lynch, right? He's basically handing you millions of dollars for $9.97. You hear that? He's basically handing you millions of dollars for $9.97. Now, never mind the fact that he's never worked as an investment professional. Remember, I'm world class. I'm one of the top. I'm probably the top analyst in the world. The only person who truly predicted the financial crisis. Nobody even comes close to my forecast, my track record on that. Right? I could go. My track record is unbelievable. Yet, it's fact. It's there. My calls on Netflix, Nvidia, my distressed securities calls, my market forecasting calls, so on and so forth. Right? Clearly, I'm a world-class analyst, one of the best in the world, probably the single best. Covered many things. Guess what? I have never and would never say the types of things this fucking swindling con man piece of shit fraud has said in this video. I would never do that. Because I would be, even with my skill and my track record, I could say these things. I could say these things and no one could criticize it based upon my track record and my results and my expertise, my credentials, 3 decades managing funds professionally and advising multi-billion-dollar funds. But I would never do that because I know it's not true. I know it's not simple. I know you can't do it working a full-time job. I'm an honest person. This guy is a dishonest, dirty, money-worshipping piece of fucking shit. Once again, go through, get that clip where he talks about Merrill Lynch, contact Merrill Lynch, tell him. They'll be on his ass like stink on shit. Can you fucking believe this? Folks, this is why I had to interrupt my day to do this. I ran across this motherfucker on a live event. I listened to about 5 minutes of it and I was infuriated that he was doing this to people. And it should infuriate you all as well to be relentless to spread the fucking word on my message, exposing all these pieces of fucking trash, these dirty motherfuckers who don't want to work. They want to take your hard-earned money, selling you dreams, selling you the lifestyle, selling you all this bullshit. because they're pieces of trash. Wow.